fun fact, when I call you BB, it stands for baked beans. Remember that. BB. BB. The best bit out of oh damn it, I did it again. Best bit. The best bit of BB.
That's what BB stands for.
Yeah, best bit or baked beans. It's the latest single is just going to be Nico, Ellie, and Maki
Baked beans.
sitting around a campfire eating baked beans. So yeah, with that intellectual giant of a conversation started out of the way. Hi everyone, welcome back to Off the Balcony. We got a great show planned for you guys tonight. I've been to a couple of conventions in the past 2 months since we last recorded, and we watched, as usual, quite a bit of anime. Some new titles that are quite popular right now. Some are old favorites, but we looked forward to breaking all of those down with you. So, can I just say it's been a very, very, very busy past couple of months.
Yeah, both of us.
And we wrapped up the summer, going back to work.
Wait, Naya starting school.
Yep, I'm back in grad school. Steven is going
Undergrad,
yeah, doing his undergrad.
I'm back in school, but I just work at a school.
Yeah, all three of us are back to work. It's just been a nuts time lately. But fortunately, we've been able to have, you got to work a little so you can ball a lot. And to say that we have balled a lot has been an understatement in more ways than one, because we finally reached one of Steven's favorite anime, which we will talk about tonight. But why don't we start off with the big story, Anime Magic. How do we think it would?
Didn't you go to a con before Magic?
Oh, yeah, I went to...
I feel like we should let you talk about that before we get on to Magic, just to keep it chronological.
Sure. Yeah, I went to this little con. It's hosted by the same people who do Anime Midwest and CAD. It's this tiny con in the Quad Cities. Always love going to it. This year was pretty good. They moved us out of the old convention center that we had before. So basically everything was in this hotel. But all in all, it was a really fun experience. We did a lot of... panels that we were really looking forward to do. I got to do the Transformers panel again with Heather. It was actually funny because this year our friends Mark and Mia went ahead of us, and Mark texted me, hey, you might want to bring your screen because the tech here is kind of fucked. And so that's what I did. And I actually just kind of rented out my screen to the convention that day and night. So that was fun. I kind of played tech guy for the convention. But all in all, it was a good time. Everything I wanted to get done at that convention, I got done. I bought some DVDs off one of my favorite vendors. Lovely man named Brian. Always has a great selection. Unfortunately, we haven't seen him at anime. He wasn't at Anime Magic, so I wasn't able to.
We'll see him again someday.
Yeah, we'll see him again. He's bouncing around the country all the time doing these conventions, but he always comes through, especially with the latest releases. So I'm thankful for that. So yeah, Anime Zing. Since you guys didn't experience it, I don't really want to bore you too with the nuts and.
It's fine.
Well, it was a standard convention. If you come with me, it's gonna be a fun time. The panels are gonna be great. I'm trying to think of some standout.
The reason I really don't want to go to, I'm myself probably gonna pause the Zing stuff. One, because I moved it out of Davenport.
Yeah.
And I hooked up with my little brother to be able to stay at his apartment that weekend.
Oh.
So rip to that one.
Yeah.
Don't be bouncing across borders for that con.
At that convention I got to play Chris Chan again, and I always love doing stuff with Chris Chan, obviously. I get recognized at conventions now for playing Chris Chan.
Even when you're not dressed up as
yeah,
Chris Chan.
Yeah, people just remember that act. Not that I phased it out. It's in a weird gray area, but I still love playing the character. love playing the character. He's a real well, actually, so it's...
technically the way you portray Chris Chan is kind of like a character.
Well, the thing is, the workaround is Chris Chan made himself a character in his own comic.
Yeah.
So I'm playing that Chris Chan.
You're the Sonic 2 from that You're the Chris Chan from that universe.
Yeah, which is funny because there is literally no distinction between those two entities. So I am just Chris Chan, but
You were Sonic 2's father, Chris Chan, not the creator of Sonic 2 in real life, Chris Chan.
yeah, it's like everything with Chris Chan. It's dumb and weird and but very funny. But yeah, so I got
Especially now that he's living back at his own house. With
Yeah.
his mother.
we won't get into that.
All right.
Justin,
moving
we won't get into that.
today.
Yeah. But yeah, all the panels I wanted to do were fun. I got to do some of the wrestling stuff with Mia. Did the late night panels. Those were fun. Transformers was great as usual. Got to talk about Japanese monster movies. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. But yeah, we were only there for a night. So it was kind of I'm kind of upwards of lukewarm of doing a one night con because like on the one hand it's not as exhausting as doing a full 3-day 2-night spread, but at the same time
And those are so fun, though.
yeah, I mean they are more rewarding, but like you save on money, you basically as long as I have a book panel weekend, then I'm good. I can do whatever they need me to do. But yeah, I really liked Animazing this year, so looking forward to going back someday. But our big expedition together was this year's Anime Magic. What do we think, guys? How did Anime Magic do this year?
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
They knock it out of the park every year.
They do. And a lot of that comes from I know the people who are running Anime Magic pretty well, and they are just 100% dedicated to just making the most fun experience they can, making a very diverse fun experience. Like you can do all sorts of different things at Anime Magic. Now, granted, the things that we want to do, well, I'm more focused on the panels because that's just kind of where that's kind of what I love to do most. But Heather will go off and do the video game stuff. You'll go and like see the idol type activities, and there's something for everyone at Anime Magic. And I really respect them trying to go from just a regular anime convention into kind of becoming like almost an anime themed amusement park in certain ways.
I mean, I think I literally only have like 3 complaints from the whole weekend and some of them aren't even really the con's fault. Like when the schedule didn't come out until like the week and a half before the con itself. So
Yeah, that was
and made scheduling a little weird, though. I think that's probably kind of Anime Midwest's fault.
yeah.
The things that they hosted last year,
Yeah.
this year.
Reminder that we are less than 10 minutes in this recording.
Yeah.
Just gonna put that one out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
wasn't gonna
no
say.
curse words, no mentions of the disaster that was.
Yeah.
If you listen to the last episode,
Yeah, oh yeah, we get into it there. Sort of probably poor choice of words there, but
and second one that's definitely not the con's fault was that the Itasha show had a lot fewer people than the other years, but that's because San Japan happened that same weekend,
and that was down in Texas, correct?
Yeah, and a lot of the people from the server that were in that have Itashas, most of them went down there.
Mm-hmm. So I gotta say, and in terms of conventions, I think we're just getting better at doing conventions because this was just smooth. You know what I mean?
I think we barely had any traffic going up there. Got our badges quick and easy.
Yep, we got badged in. We got our room early. They all you have to do if you're checking into the Hyatt Regency O'Hare and you want to get into your room right as soon as you land, have an extra $25 saved because they will let you check in early. They're just gonna charge you an upfront fee, and you do have to pay it, but they will let you in.
I think that's a thing for most hotels too, but
Well,
that's also depending on rooms.
I've tried it before at other hotels, and it hasn't worked, but it has worked at the Hyatt. So just tip to the wise. So anyway, we get in, we get landed, and basically we kind of just start because well, actually no, you had our first event
Yeah,
of
we
the
had my Love Life panel at 1:30, so it's like I showed up there. I already wore my cosplay in the car because part of me was just expecting that we'd have a lot of traffic and some roadblocks getting up there. So, like in my mind, I was pretty much certain that we'd be getting our badges and then just immediately heading straight to the con to get ready for that. But,
yes, yeah.
Like now we got settled in our room with like hour, 2 hours to spare. So we just got into our room, just relaxed for a bit, got our badges, even wandered the vendors hall for a bit before we decided to head down to the panel room.
Yeah, and the first panel that we did was, of course, the
Forgotten Love Live lore.
Yep, the Love Live panel.
Our only non-18 plus panel.
Yeah, and we'll get into what those other panels were all about later, but
And thank you to MILF, the Midwest Idols Love Livers and Friends server, because so many of you were there at Anime Magic weekends, and you guys were awesome.
yeah, and it was nice to meet all of you, or not all of you, but some of you, some of our Love Live server friends, like just in person, because
Like it was fun watching them all later that night find out what your guys' real names were.
yeah.
I just remember breaking, I think the name's Minecraft on the server. I just broke them when they said, "Oh yeah, my name's Steven."
And they know you as Dan.
Yes.
Dirty Dan.
Yeah.
I just remember somebody later just came back online. It's like so many notifications. What the hell's going on? It's like they found out Steven isn't even a Daniel.
Yeah, it was a whole thing, but
And my huff.
and the hoof.
Yeah, but we can tell that story a bit later
Yeah.
once we get to
Here.
tell the nighttime part of our story.
Yeah, why don't you tell us how you felt the Love Live panel went?
It went amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Also, I found one time I was going through YouTube watching Seiyu videos. I found a video that was Muse's first TV appearance ever,
Mhm.
where it's pretty much just all of them use Seiyus except Mimorine for some reason. There's introducing their characters and just explaining what Love Live even is. Like, this was even before they had the name Muse. That was before the group name poll announced its winners, or I don't know if the group name poll even came out yet, but yeah, they're just promoting Snow Halation.
Right. And it was so cool to see that, like, little artifact. We got it put into the panel, played it for everyone on the screen. Everyone seemed to respond to it well. And I will say that this panel wasn't as rowdy as the Love Live panel at UICon. I can't speak for their...
It might just be because it was one of the first events of the day.
Yeah. But I will say it was still fun because we got to create a Nezo stack. We had Honoka, Shioriko. Didn't you have Kanata?
Oh yeah, I brought Kanata. I
Yeah,
was trying to remember which one I brought.
and we had someone bring a Mari. Yeah, and that was fun. So we had everyone set up. These guys had all their prizes set up, and I always love just being in that panel because I just like relearning these facts about Love Live
And learning new ones. I want to thank Prophet for making me.
Gonna make you cry when you think of Reen now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you ought to first of all verify if that's a real.
He did send the screenshots.
Oh, he did send the screenshot. I wasn't trying to say he was lying, but I was like, we need to verify this first before we put it in the panel.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna take out the slide about Nico's dead dad because I feel like that's one that everybody knows at this point.
Yeah.
Take that out and replace it with Reen's trauma response.
Yeah. It's a really sad one, but nonetheless, I thought the panel went great. Prophet actually made fun of me for popping my first top at 11 or 1:30.
Yeah, 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just cracked open a Bud Platinum. Bud Platinum or Bud Light.
Bud Platinum, yeah.
Yeah, just cracked one open and T-pose Hanayo guy was in like the front row and just said, "It's 1 in the afternoon."
And I was like, yeah, I'm running late. But yeah, panel went great. It was decently attended, which I was happy to see. We sort of cleared out of there. We got our panel done at 2:30, and from
2:30.
And from that point on, we kind of just chilled around the convention. You know, sometimes we were up in the room drinking. Sometimes
My pal Sarah was there too,
Yeah.
so hung out with Sarah and some of her roommates and other friends.
Yeah. It's because keep in mind, from 2:30 to 12:30, we had like nothing scheduled, so we were just trying to occupy time. I mean, we all
It was
went.
so weird. We just only had one safe for work panel,
Yeah.
and then the 3 other panels we had approved were all late night events. So we were just
So fast forwarding to the midnight hours of Anime Magic on Friday, we
we
That was
drank a lot in the room. And I remember I had changed into my Kikuri outfit by then, and Steven was getting changed into his kimono that he bought from Anime Iowa.
yeah, and I was just chilling out in my
Getting into Wade.
yeah, I was in my Hawaiian shirt. I had my green bucket hat, and it's like, all right, let's go rage. And then we put on a brand new panel, which was I think all of our ideas, but
I think it was an idea like one of us had, and then we all just contributed to.
I think I wanted to do an Angst and Regret After Dark, but we changed it to I Am and My Parents Walked In because it was probably a little bit better.
yeah, the idea kind of was like an amalgamation of like 3 different ideas in a sense.
So the panel is called Anime When My Parents Walk In, and it's just video clips of like, basically moments where you wouldn't want your dad just walking like, "Are you winning, son?"
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, that was the conceit. And we did it kind of iceberg style because we started with like
2 scenes from Chainsaw Man. Like, if you've watched the Chainsaw Man anime, I think you can guess the ones.
yeah. Some of them had some pretty funny edits with them.
I'm going
To
to
jail.
That also makes me laugh every time.
And
Funny enough, I think when I sent that clip, I didn't even know that had that meme at
yeah,
the
I
end.
discovered it because I was having to review like all of the clips before I put them in.
So, we should find that Himeno scene. So like, I knew we had to have the dub of it too, because Caitlin Barr's delivery of that scene makes it.
Yeah.
I saw.
But you're wrong though.
English
It's
dub clip and like, if it's like a good time limit, that should be perfect. So I just sent that to you without watching it.
see, you're wrong. It's not Caitlin Barr's delivery that makes it. It's that dude down in New Orleans who makes that scene. Went to jail. But yeah, so we started off with stuff that people are would be familiar with, like Chainsaw Man, and what were some of the other like
I think we had Pompoko kind of.
Pompoko, yeah.
Oh,
If you've seen Pompoko, you know.
Yeah, if you've seen the movie Pompoko, you know. Then we moved down to stuff like Canon and Clannad. The Canon one still makes me laugh every time. Where
I'll see if I can find a better video for you to download for that one.
Funny
yeah,
enough, when I was looking for canon scenes, I was thinking of the one where he's helping Makoto study.
oh
Yeah, but then I was looking. I
Oh,
couldn't
that would've
find
been a
that,
fun
but
one,
I
too.
found that scene. So,
yeah.
I'll link them to you when I find them tomorrow or something.
And then we went even further down, and then we started showing. We had a Love Live scene pack, which was
Yes,
fun.
with Nozomi scenes.
Yeah,
And
two.
then that scene with Hanamaru censoring the girls when they're standing up in the bath.
And then from there, we started showing them kind of more wacky, obscure
I think
stuff.
one of the last ones we got to was Desert Punk. Which,
Oh,
funny enough, that was another one where I was looking for a different scene, but then found the one we ended up using.
yeah.
I was looking for the "Let me do you" scene.
Yeah, that would have been funny, but
ended up with "Your mother's a dirty whore. Your mother's a dirty whore."
yeah, where
Are we past the YouTube censorship thing? Okay,
where Konta, I think is his name.
oh yeah, I think I was about to say Kosuna, but I think that's the little girl's name.
Yeah. Just starts chanting that over and over again. And we showed shit like Satellite Girl and the Milk Cow, which the scene I wanted to use was one of the toilet scenes, but
I know. Whenever I think of Satellite Girl and Milk Cow, I just always think of the scene where it's like the girl that he wants tells him about her new boyfriend, but then he just unzips his cow suit. Like, you did this. Unzips his human suit and reveals he's a cow. Like, you did this to me.
yeah, and we won't tread new ground here. Or tread old ground. We reviewed Satellite Girl and the Milk Cow. And
Don't watch it.
it's a pretty bad movie. It's a very bad movie.
Which apparently people at the panel did say the original Korean version was better, but
Oh, great! This
No,
dub sucked.
yeah. So I mean, considering most of the stuff that we hate about it is stuff that's shown on screen,
Yes. So,
I don't think it would really make it better.
I mean, to those of you in the audience, because I remember those people in the audience, because I was kind of doing my thing of bouncing up and down and, pointing stuff out. And I saw them try to defend this, and it's like, you know what?
Like,
God bless you
Like,
for
it's
trying.
Not the voices. The voice acting in that I thought was actually pretty good. It's
The
just
voices are fine. It's just the characters are just.
Yeah, it's the material they had to work with.
Yeah. The characters are just terrible. Anyway, we're treading old ground that I said that we wouldn't tread.
I
Anyways,
think the only thing in the panel that we didn't get to was our grand finale of School Days.
which was just a censored sex scene.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm happy with the way the panel. In fact, I think it was my favorite panel that we did all weekend.
Yeah,
I mean,
we definitely need to bring this one back. It's like, we had such a great reception to that one.
yeah, and here's the thing. I was actually afraid that we weren't going to do too well with it because
You were worried we didn't have enough?
I was afraid that we didn't have enough, and I was also afraid that that we weren't going to get the laughs and the reactions. Because what I wanted, I mean, was like, what I thought was going to happen is that we were going to show all these scenes. People are going to think, yeah, it's kind of funny, but, it's mostly milquetoast. But then you actually get together and you watch these scenes in context with other people, and it's a fucking riot.
Yeah.
Like, Steven, what was your favorite scene that we showed?
Probably the cannon scene, just because of
That was where, is it Yuichi or Soichi?
Yuichi.
Yuichi convinces the Makoto?
Yeah.
Makoto to go buy porno
Porno
magazines.
If you don't know which one to get, ask the recommendation.
Yeah. Which, now all you're thinking about is, like, what is this girl going to... This older guy told me to go buy porn for him, and he asked me to ask you for recommendation. Like, what do you even do with that?
By the way, I think I sent you a better version of that in English dub, so...
Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can tell the image quality is much better. See, that was the only problem that I had with the panel as it was playing out, is that some of them... See, because this was a clip show, we had to go find all these clips from YouTube, and some of the clips just had, normal, like, transfer problems. Some of the audio was degraded, the image...
Some of it didn't start right.
Yeah, some of them had, like, a delayed fuse. Sometimes the audio was, like, really turned down. Sometimes the audio was turned way up. But, all, sort of minor problems that, just kind of have to deal with. Oh wait, did we show the scene where Power clogs the toilet?
Oh no,
No.
we had the puke scene.
We had the puke scene, but didn't we had two chainsaw men?
It was
Yeah.
the puke scene and the sex scene.
Okay.
The
Himeno
quote-unquote.
soliciting Denji.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I for some reason I thought. Oh wait, no, we talked about Power clogging the toilet at Wife Wars. That's a hell of a sentence. But yeah, I think I really enjoyed the way that panel went. I have no complaints with it and would gladly bring it back. In fact, I want to bring it back for UICon. I think that would be a good panel to show instead of Waifu Wars at.
I mean,
Like, we should keep Waifu
We can-
Wars.
we
No,
We
no, no.
gotta,
we can do my list for Waifu Wars.
yeah.
Okay, which
Because having that jail chair probably helps being palatable to everyone else.
so okay, so everyone chill with anime when my parents walk in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good.
So basically, right after that, there is no what happened after. We went upstairs and went to bed
Yeah.
because
We were drunk and eepy.
yeah, and we went ahead and got into bed, and then
Ready for Saturday.
yep, and then Saturday, both of our panels were, late at night. We didn't have anything else.
And had some Love Live stuff going
Yeah.
on.
I will say,
The MILF server.
yeah, there was a Love Live meetup, which was a lot of fun. We went out for pizza with Sarah.
Yeah, Steven bought his first Nesso.
Yep.
Yep, you bought.
I got Dia staring right at you up there.
Yep, you
Judging you.
You got
There
it.
was only one booth selling Nessos.
And it was only Dia.
Yeah.
So I bought Dia.
You have a Dia, but no Ruby.
We'll fix that eventually.
Yeah.
But you have a Shiki with no man.
Okay.
Both
Split
of us
hair.
have Shiki, but no May.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, you just undermined your own point. But I will say, so one other thing about, because I'm talking about panels that I like. Friday night, Heather took me to this panel that's about those Chinese, like, action magical dramas with, like, I forget what the name of the genre is called, but, it's kind of like,
Yeah. I feel like I know what you're talking. I see them, people cosplaying from them on Instagram all the time. but-
yeah, they're hugely popular, and I feel bad that I don't have their names memorized, but it was hosted by these kind of older, like maybe mid-40s-ish women, and it was an amazing panel. It was an awesome panel. I wish we had, because they had 2 hours to do this whole show. We came in during the second hour, and it was awesome. Those ladies were well read, and I was like, fuck, I need to get back my foxhole and write a panel like that again. You know what I mean? I need to stop bringing out all the old shit. I need to do, because I love doing like the fun kind of, I call them stadium panels, where it's like, it's meant to like elicit response from the crowd. I need to do more like,
It also is nice to do a nice, like, informational one, too.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do my Magic Jam panel as. Like me just like walking back and forth in front of the stage with like the long mic cord you can do that with.
Yeah.
I know, I keep trying to think of ones where it's like a thing I have, like, encyclopedic knowledge of enough to actually make one of that hasn't already been done to death already, but...
Mine's gonna read more like an Internet Insanity video. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking if I ever track down the rest of the stage plays, because I've only ever seen one of the stage plays for it, I'd want to do one about Review Starlight.
That'd be a good one. In fact, I would love to help you develop that panel, because I'm not the biggest fan of Rayview Starlight, but man,
that
movie, it was like, that's kind of a case study for me in how you do a movie ending to an anime series. But
what does Review Starlight need 2 hours for?
Apparently they needed every second.
To make a Western Tool album every other time they had the giraffe on screen.
The funkiest divorces in the world.
Yeah, set to just a giraffe that looks like he should be in a Tool album. But anyway.
I know the piece.
So Saturday came, and basically the whole day we're just kind of doing different stuff in the convention.
My favorite panel from Saturday, I guess I'll jump in, was the Edisha panel that
the Edisha Alliance there.
Yeah. Apparently those guys came to like 3 of the 4 of the panels that we posted.
Yeah, I saw them around a lot.
I think the only one they didn't show to was Love Live.
Right.
And
I
understand. There was only one Love Live Edisha there.
Yeah. I ran into those guys. They're fantastic, by the way. Which car was theirs in the?
They had the Ruby Mustang.
I think the Ruby one is one of the guys, and I think the other guy that was at the Edisha panel was the guy with the Comey car.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, he had the Comey car? Oh, dope. And and Ruby, she's not talking about Ruby from Love Live.
Ruby from Ruby, the Rooster Teeth show.
Yeah, the Rooster Teeth show.
Speaking of which, I'd say moment of silence for Rooster Teeth, but nah.
Oh, okay. And we also went to the big voice actor panel. It was
Demon Slayer.
Yeah, for Demon Slayer, it had 4 actors.
Zeno Robinson, Emmy Lowe. I think Singers Griffin Burns and Allegra Clark.
Yeah, and they were all great. I really had a good time at that panel.
I think Zeno there probably had the biggest role as Genya.
Yeah, which it was cool to meet the
It
guy who
was?
played Genya. No, it would have been Genya because, which by the way, I fucking
No.
love.
Griffin Burns was Muichiro.
Yep.
So
Oh, yeah,
so
he
he would
is
actually
one of
have
the
like those two were tied, and then the other two were like,
Yeah, I think Emmy Lowe was one of Tenzin's wives.
Yeah.
and then
Allegra Clark was the spider mom at the end.
Yeah. And so during that panel, because it wasn't just Demon Slayer, you could ask them about anything, and I shot my hand up and asked Emmy Lowe about their role in Apothecary Diaries.
Which we'll talk about that one when we get to Anime Roundup.
And that's the reason I asked the question, because I was like, "Hey, what did you think of doing this show?" And I'll go more into what Emmy Lowe's response was as we get further into the podcast when we actually talk about Apothecary Diaries. But Emmy Lowe really put it in perspective in a way that I thought was great. So
she
anyway,
was also cosplaying Mao Mao when she was up there too.
Yeah,
So,
So-
Emmy Lowe loves Mao Mao probably more than the fandom loves Mao Mao.
yeah,
And the fandom loves Mao Mao.
there was a lot of Mau Mau at
I think
Anime Magic
I
this
think I
year.
lost count after like 10.
Yeah, there were a ton of Mau Maus.
Yeah, I remember at Anime Iowa back in July, there were so many Mao Maus I saw, and I hadn't even seen Apothecary Diaries yet.
Yeah. Well, I think around that time, well, I'll save it for when we
It's
talk.
probably around the time the show started wrapping up.
Yeah. So, fast forwarding to the night, you know the routine. You know,
Yeah,
we eat,
get
we.
drunk in the hotel room.
Yep. Listening to music. We listen.
Speaking of which, can we go back to the pizza place? So we went to Slice, which is in the Embassy Suites.
Right.
That was a place Hannah and I found out because we thought we could get a deal, but we found out eating there was a lot cheaper than getting the deal anyway.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like what, $15 a slice if we did the deal, but if we ate there it was like maybe
Got like a full pizza and drinks for like $30.
And
Yeah.
and the hotel, and for like a hotel joint, you get some good fucking pizza there.
It's like they have like, I'm not sure if you guys have seen. I'm not sure what places are like around the United States for pizza, but it's like one of those like flame broiled stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
flame ovens. But yeah, it was definitely a good one of those.
Um,
One of those joints.
it-
I really like it because again, cheap, and I was able to feed 3 people for like I don't know, like $40-ish bucks.
Yeah, it's a really good place. And, you know, I even got, like, a flight, which I had never expected to have a flight of, like, beer samples.
Outside of Beaver.
Well, not outside of Beaver, just anywhere around that hotel, because, you know, hotels anyway like to jack up prices.
You would assume we'd have to go to Gibson's, which, when not touching,
Yeah,
that place is like, the cheapest thing is like $35.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's, you know, they're catering to rich travelers usually, so that's just kind of
Yeah, it's
that's
usually
kind of
just-
the breaks.
Usually who stays in Rosemont, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, barely anyone actually lives in Rosemont. It's mostly away.
It's mostly O'Hare and O'Hare accessories.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But Slice was awesome. I really loved going there. I loved the pizza that me and Heather got. I mean, we fucking demolished that thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Hannah, Sarah, and I kind of destroyed that pizza too.
I mean, and it was really tasty. It was really tasty. It had a nice, like, kind of Italian spice to it, so it was good. So yeah, we made our way back up to the room. We drank. We got ready for. We had 2 panels that night. One
Oh, wait.
was.
Can I tell the story of Steven's feet pick?
Sure. Oh, right.
Oh, yeah,
that was
that
during.
happened.
That was during our prep. I found out about this midway through. So.
So, in the Discord server we're in, people like to joke about feet a lot.
Sure.
I can't tell if they're serious or not, but yeah. And so Steven, he bought the Geita for his kimono, which Geita's just those wooden shoe block sandals,
Yeah.
and they come with special socks that pretty much just divide your big toe into one hole and the other toes in another hole, kind of like how the sandals work.
Right.
And I always joke that he looks like he has hooves. So I just sent a picture of Steven's foot to the server saying, since you guys like feet so much, take a look at Steven's hooves. And the server blew up.
Everyone was just throwing in reaction.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling back to see if I
Like
can find
adding
it.
the emotes to the picture.
Yeah, just every type of emote you could find. I jumped on the bandwagon, just started, joining in just because I thought it was so funny. I was like, oh fuck, it's too bad we got work tonight. Otherwise, I'd be just trying to feed the fires of this. But
How many pictures of my feet would you guys have taken?
I mean, I only planned that one.
oh no, I meant like
I mean, I don't want somebody to take my phone and just see your hooves.
yeah.
The entire gallery full of your hooves.
Ugh. Just using that terminology is like perfect for this sort of
By
situation.
the way, I'm pretty sure everyone who's in the Discord that I'm in will get this. Y'all foot people need Jesus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I don't know. Like, do you want to talk about the waifu wars now?
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Sarah joined us for I think all of our late night panels.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was there for pretty much every other late night panel we did. But for waifu wars, I really enjoyed that waifu. I thought it went really, really well. There was
I mean, there were a few people that got up there and it's like, those characters are underage.
yeah. I think they
Probably
got.
definitely did not hear our spiel at the beginning.
I mean,
I don't think we had a spiel at the beginning. I just said my spiel turned into we're all above the age of 18 or above. We know what we signed up for. We're at 18 plus waifu wars.
yeah, and
I'm still trying to figure out a legitimate spiel I could put on a slide and then just like have a link to our tier maker. But we'll see what happens.
When is the last time you've watched an anime where the protagonist was over 18?
yeah. I mean, so okay. I really enjoyed that waifu wars. I think we've all slidden into good grooves for ourselves. Like Steven is like the administrator. I'm kind of like the hype man, and
I work the computer for
yeah, I work the computer. Heather, unfortunately, it was just too late for her. She got
She was getting kind of sick.
yeah, and then she made me sick the following week. So that was something that it wasn't bad. It was just a little head cold, which is what I got as well. But in any case, yeah, I thought, oh man, what was like, so that was where we got into the conversation about Power clogging the toilet.
Yeah,
'Cause-
like anytime somebody tries to defend Power, put her in like S tier or something, I always bring up, she canonically does not flush the toilet after taking a shit. She canonically doesn't bathe.
Yeah. Well, she was feral as a child, and I'm not saying that as a defense. I'm saying that
She's
as
literally a
fact.
demon.
yeah, exactly. Steven, you were gonna say something?
No, I was just trying to reinforce the point. Yeah, she was feral ever since she like newly became a demon. So she only connected with a cat.
Right. Yeah. Who were like our biggest? Like, what were? Because we did quite a few of them, and
I just remember Mark's spiel about Astolfo.
Yeah, it just gave a whole speech about like Astolfo, like in real life, like defended us from the Nazis.
oh, right. I'll say this. One of my favorite things about Love Live. One of my favorite things about waifu wars is the fact that people will literally hold court in front of you.
Yeah.
They
I
will.
just remember there was one guy there that was a tattoo artist, and
Yeah.
like he was looking at our list and then just realized, holy shit, they have Speedwagon.
Yeah.
And he also did another spiel about
That was my
Speedwagon.
favorite part when he had the mic. He turned to the crowd and went, "They have Speedwagon."
That was hilarious.
That made my night.
Yeah.
And it actually reinforced me. It's like saying, putting these traps up there was probably the best idea I've ever had in my life.
Well, Speedwagon isn't really a trap.
Also-
it's
well,
just a
Speed-
joke.
yeah.
It's just a joke in the fandom that Speedwagon's the best waifu.
And-
Yeah, the traps and Speedwagon. That's what I'm going to say.
And it turns out he was best waifu yet again at Waifu Wars because guess what? S+ tier.
Yeah.
That will be our thumbnail and probably our backing image for this episode, by the way.
Good idea.
Get you a man that will spend the rest of his life defending your bloodline, even from beyond the grave.
Yes. So yeah, that was fun. Do we have any like Steven, do we have any picks that really stood out to you? Like,
I mean, I just remember somebody putting Lucy
You know what?
from Fairy Tale into like
let
F
me
tier for being useless.
go ahead and pull up the image real quick because I actually did manage to save it.
I managed to snap a picture of it before I lost, or
And I think I just remembered the Lucy one because I thought
Nope, that's actually
there weren't
legitimate.
that many people being weren't that many people being antagonistic.
yeah, I didn't feel antagonized really at all. I'm gonna say that straight up. I thought it was great. Okay, so here's what I got. S plus tier. We had
Documents?
Mayuri from Steins Gate.
Oh yeah, I think that was the first person that came up. There was a girl that saw Mayuri on there.
Yeah, Speedwagon, Tifa, Saris Victoria, the chick from Dragon Maid, Rem, one of the red-haired chick from One Piece. Oh, this one made me mad. This one actually made me mad.
Yeah.
When they put Misa Amane from Death Note in S plus tier.
Yeah. She's so stupid.
We found the Yandere lover out in the...
And all the girls that cosplayed back in like 2014, they just grew up to 2024 cosplaying Misa.
Yeah, which is funny because those two characters were like concurrently popular, like at the same time, but like no one remembers
Where the hell did it go? I swear to God, I downloaded it.
Actually, I think Anime Magic this year is like the first time in like at least 5 years where I've seen cosplayers.
Yeah.
There you are.
Because you don't see them much anymore. So,
Alright, so I got it all up here. This is Magic 2024, got it, alright. So...
I think we just got to Misa.
Yeah, so S plus tier is oh god, I'm gonna forget the girl from...
Mayuri,
okay, thank you.
Speedwagon,
Aerith, Saris,
Toru,
Rem,
Surintegra,
Nami, Misa, Urza, Freeren,
Nagisa,
thank you, I was about to say something else.
oh, the chick from Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Rebecca, Robin, Starfire, and Wiz, based.
It's Robin from One Piece.
Yeah, Robin from One Piece.
And then S tier we had...
Whenever I search for Nico online, I always get Nico Robin as a result.
Yes.
Nico Yazawa.
Then S tier is Miku, Yor, Esdeath, Mikasa, and Bulma.
Oh, Esdeath caught some heat like that night, because I remembered a lot of people were not happy that she made that tier, which was hilarious.
I mean, I just want her to go lower because I hate Akame got killed.
I hate Agami got killed too, but what are you gonna do? And then A tier we had, that's Astolfo, right?
Yep. We got A for Astolfo.
Which had one of our most full-throated defenses that I've ever seen of a waifu going in. Like, because the guy wanted it higher, right?
Yeah, but
Wanted him higher, yeah.
I think there are all those people that probably just know Astolfo from the memes that want him to go lower.
Oh, yeah. And then, Steven, who's this chick next to?
Oh, it's Kairi from the Kingdom Hearts series.
Okay.
I am surprised she actually was picked that night. I'm not gonna lie with you. Not gonna lie.
She never gets picked.
Yeah, I was like,
Is it kind of a deep cut?
It's a Kingdom Hearts
she's,
thing, so
she's with the main trio.
Okay.
or the main trio from Kingdom Hearts, which she's 17 as of current, so
Okay, so how about B tier?
B tier with Aqua,
Which almost never happens.
Maureen from My Dress Up Darling.
and then we also had Blake from Ruby. Yeah.
C tier, I think, was probably our funnest one, because some gals that usually make S plus tier ended up, well, here, so...
Yeah, we had Yang from Ruby. We have Makima. We have Ray, which we chose the Chiquita race.
Yeah.
doll. And then Power, and then
Chica from
Chica,
Kaguya-sama Love is War.
Yeah, which is funny because usually Makima makes it to like S plus tier.
Last time we did this panel at a con, a guy literally got on all fours and barked for Makima.
Which, fuck, I wish I had been there to see that. I think I would have gone fucking bananas. But
that was our first pick of the night.
Imagine that being your first pick of the night. I'm just staring like. I just walk over, just take a swig of my drink, and go on to the next part of the night.
I didn't get drunk enough for this.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I didn't pregame enough. Yeah, fuck.
So yeah, Power was where we got into the conversation about flushing the toilet.
And in D tier, we have 02. I think she got D for Darling.
Right,
Yes.
because I think there was a big. I remember there being an argument about where we were going to put. Some people wanted her higher, but I think most wanted her,
Lower.
why she didn't go down to the lower tiers is beyond. But D, I think, is fair enough.
Yeah,
So,
I
Steven,
think
what were
just
the?
making the letter associate with the character probably makes people compromise more.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
like one time when we did this one with Urza, and people voted B for Booba.
Nice. So, Steven,
So now we have F tier is Lucy because she, quote, useless.
no comment.
Well, as far as these two are concerned in the Fairy Tale world, no comment. Shit on Fire, we have Bitch from Shield Hero, or Melt tier, if you guys are really gonna actually do her name.
And
In Jail tier, we have Yoko from Gurren Lagann.
Which I think their defense for putting her in jail was, like, she's a great character and all, but apparently she's, like, canonically, like, 14 or something and dressing like that.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Which I had no idea she even had a canonical age.
yeah,
I mean, I watched the show when I was 14, so...
yeah.
And then we have the drummer from K-On!
Keyboardist, that's Moogie.
Movie.
Which-
My bad.
Like, that was one of the girls that picked her was one of the girls that was saying, they're underage. Like, she wanted all of the K-On! Girls in jail, but we just told her, pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You get one.
okay, the fun thing is, since this is like my waifu wars list, here's how I usually do it. If it's an hour and you want to slog pick people like that, I'm fine with it. But if we have a 2 hour slot like we did at Magic, you get one.
You can get back in line later.
Yeah. And we had a pretty. I'd say we had a good.
Consistent line going.
Yeah, we had a good orderly line. I don't really have any complaints about this waifu ward. I mean, I bitched and groused about some of the picks, but
It's probably one of our most respectful waifu wars.
yeah, I had a great time with it. So,
And the last one is
Was Lucola or Quasicoatl from
Dragon Maid, which,
Dragon Maid.
obvious reasons.
wait. Oh, in jail tier?
Yeah.
So we've done all of waifu wars. Then.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so let's fast forward about an hour or
Yeah.
so.
Well, there was waifu wars, then a different panel in our panel room, and then we were back there for a hentai watch along. So that panel right between us was like those weird ass AI generated songs, like I glued my balls to my butthole again, like jizzing in the hot tub. I pushed fat kids at the YMCA.
Yeah, that was fun.
I remember they specifically called me out for it because I was really drunk at the time and was just singing along and vibing.
Nice.
They said, like, oh, that girl's getting into it.
Yeah.
There in my seat just dancing
Well, the songs were fun. The songs are always fun.
They're probably just surprised I knew all of the lyrics to I Glued My Balls to My Butthole again.
So,
Listen to that song all
yeah,
the time.
I mean, they're so funny. But with regards to our last...
Oh my god, they pinned my fucking foot picture.
Oh
I'm sorry. I'm going to backtrack back to the foot picture point. I found it, and there are 3 by 1, 2, 3. There are 18 different emoticon reacts to my fucking foot picture.
Wait, how many?
18.
Damn.
And each one has at least 2 people upping that emote.
Nice. So yeah, that's what was going on with those feet pics.
And we can skip over the...
That night was wild and the entire night deserves to be in Liars Out of Context, but all we got was my foot picture.
Yeah.
There, and me saying y'all need Jesus with about 12 more reacts on there. God damn it.
So now I can skip over to the from that song panel to our
Y'all
hentai watch
Y'all
along,
making me
which-
drink more.
which
Yeah.
I barely even remember this panel because I was already blackout drunk by
Yeah.
that point.
So I'll say
I
this.
drank a water bottle full of vodka and Sprite during the song panels.
Sure.
I think I remember like halfway through Surino Sora and then I black out from there.
So the panel was good. I had a good time doing it. The thing is, me as a panelist, this is purely like personal conjecture because I thought the panel was excellent. I thought everything ran perfectly with it. Everything worked with it. So no complaints there. All I am saying is that me as a panelist, what I like to do is like really interact with the audience and like play off of the audience or get questions and that sort of thing. This panel didn't really allow me to do that because it was more we would try to pause it and make commentary, and then
Yeah, I feel like maybe if we want to do that, we could just pick one of them to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I want to throw the panel out or
Yes,
anything.
I definitely want to do this one again. Maybe have it in an earlier time slot, earlier in the nighttime slot, so I actually remember it.
Yeah, and that's not to say it was not poorly attended. No, it was very well attended. There were a lot of people at that panel, and
The one thing Steven says is that I was just so drunk during the time I just kept repeating the same joke over and over.
what was the joke?
In Suino Sora, the guy's school uniform is a white shirt and green pants.
Oh,
so
the
he
PETA.
looks just like Peter Griffin.
Yeah,
I think I just kept repeating, he's rocking the Peter! Steven says
Oh,
I
yeah.
said that like 20
5
times.
times in a row.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, Steven, I was just giving my sort of my thoughts on the
That's a big ass glass.
I definitely poured too much crack in the other one.
This is an extreme thirst.
So for guys,
Be right back.
since this isn't visual, I have an entire stein full of Kraken and apple cider, but it's like 2.5 to 1 apple cider to Kraken.
So I was just telling Hannah that I thought the panel went really, really well.
Yeah, so it's great.
I was only giving my personal conjecture that the way that I like to do panels is different than what this panel actually required of me, which this panel did not require a lot from us.
It didn't, and I kind of like to actually jumping out of our comfort zone from going on like kind of like lecture type shit to having the panel explain itself.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I wish that, I thought the reactions were good and everything, and I almost kind of was hoping to do more of like a riff tracks kind of, riff tracks, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't really call for that, so I'm just giving my own personal conjecture. In every sense of the word, the panel went great.
I do like how I was able to read the long ass review for the first one we showed.
That was hilarious. I really had fun with hearing some of those reviews, and
I think genuinely the only issue we had was that we could not actually control the output levels from the HDMI.
yeah,
If we were able to make people hear that the entire room, that would have been better. But honestly, you can probably really couldn't only hear from, according to the audience, what it looked like was like the past 5 more, like maybe the first 5, 6, 7 rows. And the weird thing was the audio was connected to the speakers in the room, so I'm not sure how people couldn't hear it.
yeah, it was.
No, the mics were connected to the speakers, but the
What the?
I
brownies.
got a little hungry and remembered I baked brownies a few days ago, so I just brought a brownie.
Oh, cool. So yeah, I thought the panel went great, and
Well, that panel was great. Even when I realized I was like the only one who was able to actually pilot it while being drunk.
So yeah, the panel went great. Literally same story. We went upstairs and went to bed because we were all past
side
our
story
bed.
on that.
Yeah,
So I told Hannah and Sarah to go upstairs because I was gonna pour out some drinks, and they just sat there.
yeah.
And I went
'cause
upstairs, went up to the room.
I was kind of blackout then, but I swear one of the words I heard you say was bathroom. So I
It
just
was.
thought, okay, Steven's gonna go to the bathroom. I'll just wait right here.
So I go up to the room and said, "Hey, Hannah isn't here yet." And Wade's like, "No, she hasn't come in." I'm like, "Fuck." So I slap on my fucking shoes, those fucking clogs again. Go right back downstairs, making noise on the marble every fucking step I took. And then Hannah's like, "You left me down there," and she didn't say just once or twice or thrice or 4 times. No, 11 times. 11 goddamn times.
I didn't know about this.
11.
I swear I've told this story.
No. I haven't heard. I haven't heard this story.
I
before.
haven't told Wade this story yet, honestly.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 11
Yeah,
fucking
that's-
times. We
those
said
are-
it in the server, and Wade never really checks the server, so he wouldn't know the story. But 11 goddamn times.
Yeah, it's like those are my 2 memories of the hentai watch along. Was like about like half of Suino Sora. Then I blacked out. Then there was Steven. Where I overheard the word bathroom and thought, okay, Steven's gonna go to the bathroom. I'll just wait here. And then him coming back down and me just think, you forgot about me.
Oh, that's fucking
Oh,
funny.
it was still 11 goddamn times.
I mean, I thought you were just in the bathroom for a long time, and then you said you went to the room, and then I got mad.
That was because I thought you went to the room, but then I realized you guys were waiting for me down below the escalators where I couldn't see y'all.
Oh, I see. So you were. I know where you were down there.
Yeah, they were sitting on the benches below the escalators,
Yeah,
so I could
yeah.
not see them with my tunnel vision from being drunk.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to see it when you were sober because the way that room is set up is that
Yeah.
they would have been out of your field of vision anyway. So
Especially which one they were under, so I was coming back down. Oh, by the way, I would like to let you guys know, since we're about at the finish line from Magic, I would like to get you guys know that those clogs that I got work the fucking quads and thighs like no one's business.
there you go.
No, quads and thighs are the same thing. Fuck. They work your fucking thighs like no one's business, and now I know what it feels like to wear high heels.
Well, there you go.
I mean, that's why I was so scared when you said you were actually bringing those to the con.
I
knew you were.
I didn't go up the escalator when I was trying to get, because I know there was like one panel, I can't remember which one we did, where we didn't have our business cards. I can't tell you which one it was, but I went upstairs, grabbed them, came back, got carded. I remember. I think it was the. And I had my parents walk in because I got carded from my own fucking panel. And
I was sitting in the panel room,
but-
just so scared because I knew you were
But you know
already
what?
drunk then.
You know what? Shout out to Magic's staff for carding me for going to my own panel. I do actually appreciate that, even if I seemed annoyed.
Meanwhile, the rest of us just snuck in through a side door.
Yeah.
Because we're panelists, they wouldn't have carded us when we were going first anyway. But I do appreciate them doing that just to make sure we don't, catch inappropriate bullshit for our panels, because I wouldn't want to fucking fill out that paperwork either.
Yeah.
So
Like
I
a
get them.
13-year-old walk into our panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate Magic for keeping the ID checks going, because I've been around some panels that don't do that.
Yeah.
And and to get there was one email I have deleted from our email, and it was a chain about this one person who came into our Waifu Wars panel maybe within the last year, because that's when our email was made, complained that we had complained about our waifu selection list. I'm like, first I do have to ask how old were you when you worked at the panel, and they said they were like 16. I'm like, how the fuck did you get on our panel?
Yeah.
So I deleted the entire chain because I asked her. I told them, don't come to our panels again if you're under the age of like 18, unless the time is like 1 p.m. Other than that, never come to our panels again, and then delete the email chain.
Well, there you go.
Because no, we're not dealing with that shit.
Yeah, no complaints about the way Anime Magic was run this year. Everything was great. I mean, like I said, I know some of the people who organize Anime Magic anyway. It's fantastic. And yeah, Sunday, when Sunday came, not really much to talk about Sunday. We woke up, we checked out, we did a last sweep of the vendors hall. We met up.
Went to one panel, I think.
I think so, and we also had the official Love Live meetup.
Yeah, and which didn't even last that long. I
It's
think.
just the same guys from the day before.
They had the official meetup, but there was like a Love Live dancing thing at the community stage, so they went to the community stage. We just had to say fuck it, we ball, and just left.
Yeah.
I am wanting to see the Discord people again at Inked, for those who can make it.
Which we know a few are coming to Inked.
And
so.
I do also want to give a special shout out to Prophet, who
Warned guy.
who warned my heart, who said that he said he was making a panel because we inspired him to try to go forward with that panel. My heart is warned. The tears are flowing. I'm drunk, but but it does make a genuine impact to see that I'm actually influencing people, which is all I kind of want in life.
Because that's how I got into it. I watched the panels that V is for Villain hosted at like Anime.
Wasn't it like the
bad music videos?
The bad music video panel, the bad fan fiction panel that they would do in like 2016, 2017, 2018. And they inspired me to go out and do panels. And now like I just have like a whole network of people who just kind of just know me from panels. Like I'm really getting afraid that I'm getting to the point where people are saying, hey, I basically grew up with you going to cons and seeing you at conventions. I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't think I'm ready for that response. If I've been your, jeez.
I mean, you're 30, you're an elder weeba now.
Elder States.
I'll be there in 3 years to watch.
Oh yeah, the day after Anime Magic was Wade's birthday.
Yeah, and it was a very happy birthday. Very, very happy birthday.
I think we went golf and I got drunk on the golf course that I did during the convention.
Yeah. Well, with the way I was playing that day, holy shit, I needed to get drunk. But
Fucking sliced it off that fucking mound of a horse. Anyway, moving back.
yeah.
Continuing
So,
back.
final thoughts on Anime Magic. Wonderful convention.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah. And we cannot wait for their new sister convention, Anime Magic Inked, coming up November 1st.
Yeah. Don't we have like 6 panels submitted? For
6 panels submitted. We'll see what happens when the paperwork finally churns its way through
that?
the
And
machine.
Since panel submissions are still open, we still have time to.
Oh, yeah,
submit
we could
anime
put
when
more
my
in.
parents walk in.
We could put more in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anime Magic was amazing. Do we want to say a quick word about QuadCon before we...
Before QuadCon, I kind of want to get a bitch out real quick.
You're adopting that term.
It's a good term. I do want to get my bitch out. So recently, if you guys go to Amkey, Wade, and then me and Hannah will be in separate groups for undisclosed reasons.
And me and Steven
But
found out how their panel submissions work.
oh my god, that fucking list! I can record a Vine length
Here,
video.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom while he has his bitch.
Thanks.
Because I already know the story.
You can record a Vine length video about the trigger warnings. Holy mother of Christ!
We had to mark anime when my parents walk in for police brutality because of that Pompoko scene.
I had to add fan service to the Love Life panel.
Because there's like one picture
Because
I
of
have
the
there
fucking-
where it looks like Honoka's in the bath.
No, it was what most.
Oh,
got
and,
me-
and also that panel about Reen's panties.
Yeah, especially when you have a really that fucking adult model with the underwear on it. Yeah, that's what got me most concerned about it. We haven't gotten emails back. I mean, I got quicker email confirmations for fucking CAD than I got for Amkey at this point. But I really don't. Let me put it this way, right? I appreciate that Amkey is trying to make sure that the convention is for everyone. I get that.
And
But having me fill out a mile fucking long list of trigger warnings when you could have said adult discretion is advised and made me hit a single check mark would have been the best thing in the world to me, right? I just hate excessive bullshit. I'm having my bitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I hate excessive bullshit when it comes like that, right? Because all you're really, and this is gonna be the hottest take I have in this fucking. This is probably gonna be the hottest take we've had on this show in like 4 seasons, but 3 seasons. I'm sorry, but I hate excessive shit when it comes to like vocal minorities.
Yeah, I feel like none of our stuff's gonna even get approved because we tried to mark things as honestly as we could.
I also gave Amkey a flat. If you need more experience, we had to list panel experience, right? Panel fucking experience.
Like, we've been here for 3 years.
It'll be 3 years if we get accepted to any of this. If we don't get accepted to Amkey for any panels, I'm skipping it straight up. I am not paying the fucking $400 for the weekend to go to do fucking nothing.
It's not even on my birthday this year.
Yeah. So, hearing you say that, I absolutely agree with you because I never told you guys how much bullshit you have to go through to sign up for panels at Amkey because it is a fucking it's like applying for a job and imagine
They asked me for references.
Yeah.
That felt
So-
like one of those Indeed.
So I'm gonna give you a tip for the trade in the future. Anytime you need to fill that out, like fill out where it says, just have like a stock, like
Oh no!
No.
No. They asked me for a word. They asked me for a document of an outline, and I went autistic with it. All right, I went malicious compliance with it. I gave them a full fucking outline.
so
The
because
only time I said, "Hey, contact me," was for panel experience, because then I'll give you all the panels that I've done in the past maybe a couple months.
So okay, I respect that. All I am saying is that in the interest of efficiency, when I would sign up for Amkey, I would do everything like just. I would not mark the trigger warnings. I wouldn't touch those with a 10-foot pole because if you touch one of them, then God knows. But I'm not saying that's going to happen to you. I'm just saying avoided the issue altogether. And then I just, I lackadaisically sort of filled out everything else. And by the way, doing that process is what got us our 4 panels for Amki.
Well, here's the thing, right? I am hoping that people use the trigger warnings as a panel to avoid rather than a thing for the staff to use to not accept panels.
And if people are actually paying attention to those trigger warnings, I don't want them to show up to our panels and then get mad at us for having them.
Yeah.
Like, if people are going to get genuinely upset about the police hitting Tanuki testicles in that Pompoko scene, then you have bigger problems.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was, I think the raccoons
have bigger problems, but
that's... Let's be honest. But here's what I'm trying to get at here, right? If they use them as reasons to not host panels, I believe that is a crock of bullshit. Because we are all functioning late teens, adults, early adults, people with families. We should be able to make our own goddamn decisions.
I agree.
I agree. I guess for people who, I also understand people who have like triggers from like CTE.
Yeah, and no making fun of them at all.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
We do try to genuinely avoid like super heavy topics.
Yeah,
like
the shit that was on that. We wouldn't go 1,000 miles close to that kind of stuff.
There's a trigger warning on there for miscarriages. Like, who the fuck is talking about miscarriages at an anime con?
Yeah.
Like some of these things are probably things that will be mentioned, like will be touched upon in certain animes. Like, I get that. But that's never going to be the focus of a whole panel.
Hell, we might have tiptoed the closest to it just by talking about Clanad, but that's a different story. But,
It's just that it makes it excessive on my end to do all this extra work to host a panel where I'm not getting paid. If I was getting paid for this fucking panel, the stuff like Amki, I'll take it. I'll take it with like extra steps. I'll give you references. I'll give you fucking contacts, mainly Wade, but I'll give you contacts. But I'm not getting paid for this. My badges are getting forwarded to the next year.
Yeah.
I'm also getting free panels. I'm also getting a free badge this year because of it, probably. But
yeah, you will.
If I'm not getting paid for the hotel and everything.
If I'm not getting paid my money, why the fuck am I doing this?
Yeah, and no, you're right to have that bitch. That's just why I never told you guys like what a hassle it was to, because I didn't want to distract from how much fun we were having at Amki. But like,
wait, I'm distracting with how much the Imperials would cost me on a near daily basis. What the fuck else do you think I'm gonna know?
Yeah, feel free to bitch around us.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have done any good but here's the thing, I want you guys to know that I agree with everything y'all are saying. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, this year at Amki, you listened to me like bitch for like the full 3 hours we were in the registration line. So,
well, we were only in it for about an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't even an hour.
Yeah. So feel free to bitch around us. I bitch around you guys a lot.
Well,
I think that's like the only time in like maybe of the 3 seasons we have, I think that's probably my most extensive bitch.
No, and that's fine, and I completely get it because
Adobe being a cunt, but that's Adobe.
So there it is on Amki. Amki, do better. Anyway.
Here, let's talk a little bit about QuadCon and maybe the tiny little con tomorrow.
Yeah, let's talk about fun shit instead of being visually fucking livid about everything else.
So QuadCon.
Yeah, so there's this little group called QuadCon that does a bunch of little cons around the Midwest, where it's mostly just like little 2-day, 1-day events in like a shopping mall.
They are really just, to put it into perspective for people, there really isn't any panels. Not unless they run like the Peoria Civic Center for like a 15-minute panel section, but for these, it's basically like a vendor's hall, and then maybe some voice actors doing signings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The one we went, it's running both today and tomorrow, so Saturday and Sunday. There's a mall in Champaign.
Yeah.
So about like less than an hour away from us, so we decided to drive down to that. And
no, we didn't. Well, speaking of which, I didn't give you guys a guided tour of my workspace, did I? Oops.
No.
We didn't have time, so it's all right.
unfortunately. But
So it's basically just little vendors tables set up in the middle of the mall.
and I gotta say, I love what QuadCon's doing because not only are they like bringing like just a little slice of the big anime con to, kind of ordinary folks. It's like it's letting like local like nerd vendors have a new venue to kind of sell their stuff.
I also appreciate it for those people who are really on a budget. Like these cons are free. These are free cons, and they are in like the smaller towns.
The only one we've ever had
towns of Recount Champaign. But
the only one we've ever had to pay for was the Peoria Civic Center one, which it was in the Peoria Civic Center.
Yeah, that was probably just to cover the overhead.
No,
I think it was only like $10 for.
Yeah, it was dirt cheap.
I mean, we paid $15 for the one we went to last year at the Bloomington one, which we might have to pay for again. But
The Midwest Toy and Comic Fest.
Oh,
is
no,
the one we're going to tomorrow.
but
the poster for that says $10 admission. So.
But that was for their surprise support for their raffle. So I mean, I get it.
Oh yeah, that I ended up winning within our first half hour being there.
It was great.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I got a little like handmade plushie owl.
Right. So there wasn't a whole lot at the QuadCon in Champaign, but what was there was actually really fun to like pick through and look for stuff.
Found like a few little anime vendors.
Yeah. You found like a few like Love Live keychains and cards and stuff.
Yeah, I think like the first booth I actually bought things at was a vendor that we saw at the Peoria Con back in June, where I bought the Miku body pillow from him.
Yeah.
Last time. This time I got some more of those. I think the game is called Goddess Story, but it's like little cards that have like popular female anime characters.
Mm-hmm.
I use those cards as my token cards for Magic the Gathering because Steven's been teaching me how to play that game.
Right.
We will get way into our fold.
I actually took a picture of my haul earlier. I can see which characters I actually bought today.
I know Nozomi and Kotori were two of them.
Oh.
Nozomi, Kotori, Setsuna were my Love Live ones. I got Kyoka from Bungo Stray Dogs, Mio from K-On!, Ashirpa, I forget how you pronounce it. Ashirpa from Golden Kamui, Mirai from Beyond the Boundary.
I saw that.
Kaguya from Kaguya-sama Love is War, and got 2 Demon Slayer ones. Got the 3 main trio dressed up when they were infiltrating the brothel in season 2. And got one Inosuke standing next to a can. Can't tell if it's like a beer can or a soda can.
I saw that. That was pretty funny.
Chibi Inosuke headbutting the can.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a beer can, it fits his character.
So yeah, we sort of walked around, saw what they had. They had a lot of like anime like figurine things, and
you saw a Shizuku one.
Yeah, there were 2 Shizukus. I thought you were gonna buy it because it was reduced price down to 20.
I thought we just have no space to put like full scale figures.
You know what? The only figure we bought was me when I bought Haruhi because we need a guardian for our shrine.
Oh yeah, he now has a Haruhi Suzumiya figure.
Which if you talked to me like maybe 10 years ago, I would have told myself no, but now I have one.
Yeah, so what's it matter?
My high school self would be very disappointed in me right now.
And also that same booth I bought those cards from, I also did buy 3 keychains because there's a little box that budget keychains for $4 each.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one I got was Sumire from Love Live Superstar, and then a little bit later you pulled out a Kanon.
Yeah.
And then when we came back to the booth later, I found Nijika from Bocchi the Rock.
Right. So yeah.
I spent a long time looking for a Bocchi, but I didn't find Bocchi in that.
Yeah, and I bought the original Planet of the Apes from one of the. It
looked like your girlfriend was going through forever trying to find the Kaito and Detective Conan.
Yeah, but she did find them. Like, we found it was funny, we found the Detective Conan pretty much instantly, and we spent 5 minutes looking for Kaito Kids. So, even though we put them right next to each other in the stack, so...
Yeah, then, it's like you left them and then came back later, and then people had already rearranged everything.
Yeah, which is funny, because Detective Conan did not move from where we had set him down, so... I wonder what was happening there. But yeah, QuadCon is a good, is a great promotion. You know, they do, like I said, little slice of the anime
I
convention.
will just say that QuadCon last year, Hannah and I bought a giant print, like one of those dual
Yeah.
prints of thick Charizard and thick Pikachu. So and we had that hanging in our living room, and my parents have seen that walking into this apartment.
I'm pretty sure my parents have too when they were.
Yes, they probably did when they moved that bookshelf in here. So,
Nice.
yeah,
And I think the only other thing I bought there was a Blu-ray of season 1 of Psycho-Pass.
Right. Yeah.
Steven has shown me that one, but a little bit later the first time we went to Mega Replay after it moved, he found the movie, which apparently takes place right after season 1.
Nice.
So if we do a Psychopath day, I know I can get the movie incorporated now.
Good. Cool. And
now
also,
we have season 1 to actually make the movie make sense.
and also it was very nice to see the Midwest detachment of the 501st Legion. They're the big Star Wars fans who come out in the clone trooper outfits and stuff. Great to see those guys out there. Heather got a picture with the guy in uniform. I was actually surprised to see how much buzz the con was getting, because there were people, coming in cosplay and stuff. And I really think QuadCon is like a good place, like where basically it's open to everyone. Like,
it's like during a mall and mall hours, it's free admission. It's like I definitely recommend like those little QuadCon and mall cons to like maybe people that haven't been to cons before. If you have little kids that like probably don't want them to go to a full real anime con yet, just have them wander around there.
Yeah, it's a fun experience, and let me tell you, folks, you will be walking away with something. You might say, "I'm not going to spend." Call me.
They have something for everybody there.
I spent half my final budget on a T-shirt, Haruhi, and that was it. So
I think it was $25 for the Haruhi figure
and $8 for the shirt.
Steven bought a shirt of that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yes.
Which I didn't even know he watched that show.
I've watched the 50 dubbed episodes that have been out because it's a fucking slammer. That's also the only time I've heard an anime dubbed actually reference the other one by saying Hadouken in the show, so that's great.
That's funny.
But other than that, yeah, no. QuadCons are definitely a good place to go to if you want to start getting into cons. It's like a little bit of a hop into one, and then you can go to full.
Yeah, it gives you a sense of what they're like.
It's not like me who jumped into a convention the day Chris Chan did his mom. All right, you don't have my experience.
We don't
the first day of cons.
Steven basically, instead of joining the Navy, he joined the Navy SEALs.
They threw me into the deep end, and I managed to swim out of it somehow.
Yeah, but yeah, QuadCon, a lot of fun, and I think that's the end of our convention stories. So let's.
I think the only ones we have are may are 3 most upcoming ones.
Let's talk about upcoming ones. Tomorrow we're going to a
Midwest Toy and Comic Fest is the name. It's at a hotel in our town.
Yes, it's in Bloomington Normal. It's at the Park Regency, which is on the corner of GE and Towanda Barnes in Bloomington Normal.
Right next to Circle K.
Right next to Circle K and Joe's Pub, which is the smallest yet best pub I've ever been to. And then right after that, we're going golfing.
Yeah.
It's literally right next to one of the golf courses we go
Yep.
to.
It's like probably 2 miles down from it. And then after that, we are going to NebraskaCon.
Which everything's set for that. We got a full.
We're gonna have to do a 6-hour drive down and back to it.
Yep. But we got
I still need to discuss details.
But we got full boat of panels. Everything's looking good. We got invited to do this convention
because I pulled out. I didn't get to this when we were doing talk about Waifu Wars, but when we did anime, what was that, Amki?
Yeah.
Waifu Wars at Amki.
Waifu Wars at Amki. I pulled out all the stats and just went like Greatest Showman type shit. So
that
worked.
Yeah. And so we will be at NebraskaCon in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Yeah, NebraskaCon isn't even in Nebraska.
It's right across the. It used to be in Omaha, but I guess they had to move it out.
No, the old convention center got torn down.
Yeah.
So they just moved it right across the border into Iowa.
Which fine by me, And
after that is going to be Anime Magic Inked, and
cannot wait for more Anime Magic.
Yep.
Which is Rosemont, all the little kit and caboodle.
Yep.
I'm too scared of needles to get a tattoo, so don't. Don't
I mean,
ask me about
I
tattoos.
might get the fairy tale one, but then again, I would have to probably be high. But then again, if I have any type of jokes in me, I can't get a tattoo, so it's gonna be like it's a little weird. But and then after that, if you guys want to go to Connaught Delete, because I think that's the last one of the year.
Yeah,
We will be in separate groups, but you can still say hi to us if you want.
Yeah.
And then after that is going to be, I think it's
being you are going to Zap.
Yeah,
You're going to
I'll
Zap.
I'll be at Zap,
Me
Anime
and
Zap in
Steven probably
Peoria.
aren't, 'cause
You are
I think we're getting tired of just having the two of us be the only events we want to go to.
Yeah, honestly. I
I
mean,
mean,
they try, but
I wanted to go last year just to have my very first con again. Just go say I went there for a full 10 years. But like now it's kind of lost its appeal.
yeah, I mean, I get it too. I mean, we haven't been to my first con in like what 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And
So-
I haven't even been to Zing.
We'll get there eventually.
Well-
But other than that, so you can expect the full group at NebraskaCon in Inked.
Yeah,
So
and
if you
we're
guys wanna
gonna.
say hi to the full group. Those two are the cons you want to go to.
Yep, and it's gonna be fucking crazy. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh, I'm gonna be shitter shattered at NebraskaCon from the word go. So you know,
And I'm
after
gonna-
the driving,
I mean, I'm
I'll make
gonna
sure I
meet
don't
pretty
drive.
much all those cool Love Live cosplayers I met at Anime Iowa.
Oh yes, yes
Pretty
you
much
are.
immediately when I met them, they just asked me like, "What cons are you going to next?" And I mentioned Nebraska. I said, "We're all going to that one too."
Oh, that's
Yes.
nice.
Oh yes,
It's
in the
like,
summer.
some of them do DM me occasionally. Just
Oh, yes.
Good.
Oh yes, and in the summer, I'm pretty sure this full entire group is going to Anime Iowa. So
Yes.
we're gonna sort of make that part of our routine.
Yeah,
as well,
because it
pretty
was.
much as soon as we landed there, we realized like, oh, this place is surrounded by bars.
Yeah.
And then
Also-
they set up a bar inside the convention center. It's like this is the only con we've ever been to that straight up encourages drinking.
Yeah.
And we also taken Way to the Antique Car Museum because I feel like he'd thrive there.
And he'd probably love to go to the X Golf.
Yeah, there's an
on our-
X
on our
Golf
wall.
right there, which me and cosplay working on my backswing, that's just peak.
Yeah. And even though we didn't stay in the convention center hotel, we should definitely go to that one hotel we stayed at this
Yeah,
year because
yeah.
we had a full ass kitchen in our hotel room.
Right.
Fried rice.
Yeah, there you go.
Bring your
That's
rice cooker with you.
yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'm not sure if that fucking stovetop is a guarantee though. But that's where you can see us at. I only guaranteed one summer con because I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future. But definitely for the fall winter cons, Inked and Nebraska are the ones you're going to see our full group at.
Yep.
So with that, we are moving on to our anime review of the night.
anime roundup.
About an hour 23 into the fucking show.
Well, now we can spend the other hour
I-
23 talking about
better
anime.
than how we did last time.
Oh god, we were fucking maniacs. Might be because of the stein of drink I have. I'm not
So-
sure.
So we've got a big show in terms of the anime roundup for you guys tonight. We've got. Do we want to list out the shows first and then review each?
Yes, I feel that should be.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Apothecary.
That way, if
Hold-
that way, if I make clips again, I can actually know what the fuck we're doing.
Okay. you go.
According to my list, because I have a note document of all the 2024 animes we've been watching.
Yep.
I have Apothecary Diaries, the Rascal Does Not Dream series, Lupin the Third the First, Fairy Tail, the Phantom Lord and Loki arcs, and then Rising Impact, which we just finished today.
Yep. And so let's not beat around the bush. Why don't we start with?
Here, I'll let you guys talk about Apothecary Diaries while I go pour myself another drink.
So to talk about Apothecary Diaries, I'll start with a story. Like we were saying, we went to Anime Magic and saw Emmy Lowe live in stereo. And I asked Emmy Lowe about Apothecary Diaries. And Emmy was just super enthused to talk about it. And Emmy Lowe described Apothecary Diaries as being a very sort of bottom-up show because you have this girl, Mao Mao, who is, well, like the name implies, she makes medicine for, various purposes. And she ends up getting into the court of the Chinese emperor, and
She gets kidnapped to be in the court of the Chinese Emperor.
yes.
She wants to work as a lowly servant, but gets found out to be able to read and know how to figure out diseases because she was trained as an apothecary.
Yeah, and so first she starts as a food tester and then moves her way into other roles within the palace. Yeah. And Emmy Lowe said that Mao Mao was a great character for them to record because of how strange Mao Mao is. Like Mao Mao is like a really great character. So it was great to hear Emmy Lowe talk about how this character like spoke spoke to her. So but yeah, what did you guys think of Apothecary Diaries?
I loved it.
I thought it was
You know that line where she says, each, like, it doesn't matter if you're in a brothel or in a palace, each place is a prison.
yeah.
I felt like that was, like, the main theme of the season that we watched.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no matter if you're the part of the verdigris house or you're a,
Like one of the emperor's favorite concubines.
yes, concubines, that was the word I was trying to think of. You're in a prison, no matter which one. One is just more ornate.
Yeah. And
And I feel like that kind of drives home the show because it's like, no matter which one Mao Mao was at, either being the verdigris house trying to figure out why this scummy fucking salesman tried to murder suicide one of the whores in there, or you're in the palace where you're trying to get this.
Trying to figure out why the heirs keep dying.
yeah, yeah.
Either or, they're locked in the place, and she's like, "Wow."
Life
is really just a prison.
Yeah, and it's a very sort of episodic kind of mystery of the week type show, which I really appreciated about it because basically because of Mao Mao's role in the palace, she's essentially having to go around and solve different mysteries of, things that are happening within the palace, and each one is super compelling, and they actually do sort of all tie back together sort of at the end of the show. And one aspect about Apothecary Diaries that is like constant throughout is that she is being like essentially minded by this
eunuch.
Yeah, this eunuch named Jinshi, who is
also voiced by Kaji Tang, who is an amazing actor.
Right.
He's pretty much in all of your favorite shows.
Right. He's like known to be like super handsome and wanted by both men and women. So
then he just ends up becoming obsessed with Mao Mao.
Yeah.
And Mao Mao is just not having it.
Yeah, Mao Mao just wants nothing to do with this. And Mao Mao, I think the part of Apothecary Diaries that works best for me are the characters and Mao Mao in particular. I think Mao Mao is a very good character for this kind of show.
I know one of my favorite scenes is Mao Mao hosts like a special lesson for the concubines, like learning like these are things I learned when living with the prostitutes about things that'll probably make the emperor love you. They can just like all the younger ones just like passing out.
Yeah, that's a good bit of like silent comedy. But also Mao Mao, what I like most about Mao Mao is that she's constantly like bucking against the system that she finds herself in. She's constantly like, I mean, she's treated like a lowly servant girl, but she always finds ways to like circumvent the authority of like, her supposed betters in the palace.
So speaking of that, I think the arc that really shows that better is the arc where she has to deal with the younger concubine. Where she's pretty much just getting bullied by all the women that are supposed to be helping her.
Mm-hmm.
Like the young concubine has allergies.
Yes.
To like a lot of fish and honey stuff, but like the women that are supposed to be protecting her just ignore her and pretty much just force feed it to her.
Yeah.
Then Mao Mao just brings up, if this concubine dies, the emperor will be very angry. That's pretty much the same as treason. You will get executed for this.
Right. And they all back off of me. I was like, holy shit, that was like a Dr. House moment right there.
Yeah, this pretty much is just house.
Yeah. It's like Mao Mao knows what's going on, and she constantly gets talked down to, but then she gets proven to be right, and then Mao Mao has to come in and fix everything. That's basically Apothecary Diaries, in a nutshell. And yeah, I really enjoyed the show. My girlfriend Heather was apparently a fan of both the manga and the anime. Wanted to show us it, and yeah, it was a fantastic. It was a fantastic pick. Oh, and I will say I really appreciated like the historical aesthetic, because this show is set during the Tang Dynasty in China, which is like basically the Middle Ages for us. Would have been the Tang Dynasty for China. Considered a high culture of like ancient Chinese, a high point for ancient Chinese culture. So it was cool to see all of that sort of aesthetic be put in, and given the proper sort of respect that it deserves. So what ratings do we want to put on Apothecary Diaries?
I mean, I think when we finished watching it, I put it at a high A tier, but now that I think about it, I definitely give it an S tier rating.
Okay. Steven? Sorry, go ahead.
Also, something I will point out about this series is that I kind of follow the anime subreddit, usually just like other like random threads they have. It's like I think when Apothecary Diaries was airing, that was like one of the top rated shows of that season.
I heard.
A lot of people, like, in, like, threads where people are asking, like, what animes to show people that don't really watch anime. Like, people always recommend Apothecary Diaries. Just because it's kind of like a Western show where it's kind of like Mystery of the Week.
Yeah.
And doesn't have a whole lot of anime bullshit in it.
Right, yeah. It's played particularly straight for... I mean, there's comedy in it, but that doesn't really distract from the seriousness of the...
big booby ladies, but they are... prostitutes and concubines.
So yeah, it's kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Steven, what did you think?
I really liked it. I'd probably give it an A tier.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. You guys really just said like it's a mystery of the week. It's really good at what it does. Not really much of the typical anime shenanigans, but I really do like when but intentions being misread is also really funny.
Yes.
Especially with the
that one Jinshi scene.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, the interplay between Jinshi and Mao Mao is fantastic. So I guess...
Oh, yeah. Also, something I just remembered about this series, that garden party scene is considered like one of the most baller scenes ever.
Oh, yeah.
Eats the thing, like, yep, that's poison. And the whole audience breaks down.
Yeah, right.
I do remember when we were watching the second half of the series, like, I just opened up Instagram during a slow part and just saw they just made a figure of like Mao.
Oh, okay.
Figure of Mao Mao in that scene where she's wiping the poison off her lips.
Right.
It's like, that's like perfect timing.
Yeah. So, I will say that I would give it a very high A tier. I really, really love the show. I thought Mao Mao is a deservedly popular character right now for good reason.
Waifu Wars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's kind of being sought after that way. But I will say, if we're talking about the comedy of Apothecary Diaries, one of the funniest scenes to me is that Mao Mao is trying to help this like soldier guy get with one of the ladies back at the house that Mao Mao used to live at. And so what Mao Mao has him do is like basically strip down to his underwear and start like making like bodybuilder type poses. So Mao Mao can like inspect, and she's not doing this for her own gratification. She's legitimately
just
like
trying to figure out like, would she be into this?
Yeah, and then she
Jinshi like walks in.
Yeah, Jinshi walks in, and we all just started dying laughing. So yeah, Apothecary Diaries, a deservedly great show. A tiers. We even had an S tier from Hannah, so that's fantastic to hear.
And the next one is one that I should give a little exposition too.
Please do. Steven's gonna love this.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the summer, when me and Steven were just sitting at home, like having more free time on our hands, we decided to show each other a series. So I started thinking about the Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai series again, and just realized that the main character of that, Sakuta, is literally exactly like Steven. So just figured, let's go ahead and show him this. And he started crying by the end.
Oh yeah.
Yes. It was all of the last 5 minutes of the third movie I couldn't fucking hold together.
Oh, of the last movie.
Yeah. Well, during like the end of the first season, you were emotionally damaged by then.
Yes,
so
I was.
then we
And then
Had
we
to go
watched the
ahead and watch
movies,
the
and then I
movies.
was like, and then it was the final nail in the coffin by the time the end of the third movie came around.
So
yeah, I changed Steven's brain chemistry forever.
so with, and we'll call it the two different names. Rascal Does Not Dream, and
We could just say Bunny Girl Senpai for the anime, and then just for the movies is Dreaming Girl, Sister Venturing Out, and Knapsack Kid.
so before a few weeks ago when we started watching Bunny Girl Senpai, I hadn't seen it. These guys had, and Steven was, gushing about this show. Hannah says it's great. Me and Heather had not seen it, so we were like, what the hell are these guys talking about? And so around late into August, we finally got around to watching Bunny Girl Senpai. And I'll say I have opinions about the show and the movies, but I'll say very broadly, I thought the show was great. I thought the movies were even better. So
I think what I mostly got you sold into that was that Shikako voiced one of the main characters.
yes, Kaide.
Oshi.
Yeah, my Oshi. Yes, Shikako, better known as Yurika Kubo, who voices Hanayo in the Love Live franchise, plays Kaide, who
Sakuta's little sister.
We should set up what this show is actually about before we.
I'm sorry if I'm not present. I'm trying to set up things with our commissioned artists in the background.
So the series mostly revolves around Sakuta Arisugawa. I think that's his last name. Oh, Azusagawa.
Yeah.
Sakuta Azusagawa, who's pretty much just sarcastic asshole type character, which is why I feel like this show is right up Steven's alley, because Sakuta's literally him.
Yeah.
Where he eventually gets involved with this girl named Mai Sakurajima, where she realizes she's turning invisible ever since she decided to drop out of show business.
You guys described it to me as being like a key show, and it feels.
I personally described it as a mixture of Haruhi's disappearance and Clannad out of the story.
Yeah, that's exactly how I described it too, because a lot of key shows pretty much are just sarcastic asshole guy helping girls with their supernatural problems.
Yes, and that's
exactly what Rascal Does Not Dream is.
Yeah, I really enjoyed their sort of take on this sort of concept, because it's so much like a key show the more that I think about it, because it's not just heartbreaking in certain points, it's fucking funny.
Yeah.
There's a lot of points in it where I just
Sakuta and Mai's bantering.
Sakuta and Mai's bantering is so like deadpan. It's hilarious.
And sometimes out of left field too.
Yeah, out of left field, which a lot of key shows do that too. But
I do like one scene where like Mai's staying over at his place just because one of the other girls has to stay there too, and like she just like sneaks in the middle of the night, just like hangs out with him a little bit. Then she leaves. And then Sakuta just starts hugging the pillow and rolling around.
Yeah, stuff like that. So I guess so the show, it's not like one of those like where you're constantly like crying every episode.
Like it's mostly like when the last arc hits, like holy shit.
And I don't know how much of this we want to spoil for our audience.
The first season has been out since 2018.
Okay, so basically Sakuta's sister, Kaide, the character I said was played.
This is the final arc of that anime series that's out right now.
Yeah.
That is focused on Kaide.
Yeah. She has like dissociative identity disorder.
Okay, she was like a normal middle school student, but then like due to bullying, she developed the puberty syndrome that the series focuses on, except hers manifested as basically her just blocking out the entire memories of that situation, just becoming a whole entirely new person.
Yeah.
She had a form of amnesia that basically just reset herself.
And she basically regressed into kind of being like a 10-year-old, or maybe more like 12 to 14. Well, that's her age, but like she's not the same girl that
she became a more clingy version of herself.
Yeah. And excuse me, but towards the end of the show, she
realizes that she can't stay like this forever, and then just decides to finally take steps towards leaving the house and trying to go back to school.
Yeah, and what it comes to is that she actually regains her original consciousness.
And then Sakata himself just has a full breakdown, just as the Kaede he grew up for 2 years, that he pretty much just gave up a lot of his normal life to raise her.
Yeah.
He's just gone now.
Yeah, and it's not like it's like a death, except you can't really think about it in those terms because
it's the whole conflict is I wanted the original Kaede to come back, but now I miss the old Kaede so much.
Yeah.
Like they were both my sister.
Yeah, so it is treated like a death, and it's like very emotional. Like I think the actor who plays Sakata, he crushes every like crying scene that he's given. I mean, he's great in all of the show, of course, but he really does deliver on the emotional scenes, and yeah, especially in those last 2 episodes. Looking at the movies, so
and like the whole Kaede arc actually is expanded on in the second movie, where it's like basically Kaede just do I want to do this because of me? Because she has the old Kaede, well, the amnesiac Kaede's journal.
Yeah.
So she's kind of trying to fill in the gaps of like the 2 years where she was an amnesiac, and then she's trying to decide should she do what she's currently doing because it's what she wants, or was it because what the old Kaede and what her brother would want?
Yeah, and it's a very interesting sort of interplay there. And speaking of great performances, Yurika Kubo absolutely kills it as Kaede in all the incarnations of...
tell the old Kaede voice, well, no, the amnesiac Kaede, I should probably call it now, is she's definitely doing her more Hanayo voice. You definitely tell she voices Hanayo with that. Yeah. Then once Kaede gets her memories back, then she does a whole entirely new voice for that too.
Right.
Shikako has range.
Yeah, she does have range, and she is a great actor. So before we talk about the third film, we ought to talk about the first, which I found
let me include.
Go ahead.
Include my voice about the series. Sakata is my literally me character. That is all.
Well, do you have anything you want to say about the first film?
The first film. Let me go and do that before I start doing business deals in the background. I do. Let me actually get close to the mic. I do like the first film because that one really reminds me of Disappearance. Because
that's the movie that broke me the most.
Because it does remind me of the. I'm gonna fucking do a Doctor Who and thing. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey bullshit that they can do in the show. I do like how it's not really explained as much because it is a puberty syndrome type of shenanigans.
Yeah.
So it's kind of self-contained in a way.
Yeah.
But I do feel like with no explanation, you don't have to actually think about it as much as it just says, oh, he's going back in time.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to explain anything. You don't have to do anything with it. It's all good. The other part of it was I do like how it's technically a Christmas movie, like Die Hard.
Yeah.
It's the saddest Christmas movie you'll ever watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
and there's some stiff competition in that field.
Would you sacrifice the love of your life to save technically the other love of your life?
You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who do you value more, the connection you have or the connection that you used to have?
Right.
And two things that'll get me as a person is going to be when we talk about the third one. I'll illustrate this more. Self-reflection and family.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two things that will get me to fucking burst. All right. This one was full of self-reflection, but in the way that it actually didn't make me, I connected with it, but it didn't make me break down all my emotional guards. But we'll get to that when we get to the third movie.
Well, I guess I'll say, yeah, the first movie was my favorite of all of the Bunny Girl Senpai stuff that we watched, because I felt that, like, I could connect with the conflict much more. It reminded me of some of the time travel, like, stories that I'm a big fan of. And yeah, everything that I've been saying is like about the show and the second film applies to the first one as well. It's incredibly well acted. I absolutely thought that the conflict was handled well, but I'm kind of just building up to the third movie, where the conflict in the third movie is that instead of Mai being the one that disappears, it's actually Sakata who starts to disappear. And there's some context that we need to give. Well, Hannah, you were discussing Kaide's condition. What was it?
So, well, Kaide became an amnesiac. Sakata and Kaide's mother pretty much just had a nervous breakdown from it, where she had to be hospitalized too. So why Sakata was pretty much raising Kaide on his own was because Sakata just decided to move out with Kaide. Pretty much just explains the whole anime characters living alone thing.
Yeah.
The dad left to go take care of the mom, so Sakata left to go take care of Kaide.
Yeah.
So, once Kaide regains her memories, and the mom starts to get better too, so they decide to get the family back together.
Mm-hmm.
So Sakata goes over there. Kaide and the mom get along well, but Sakata just has that whole disconnect where he doesn't really connect with his mom again, just because the mom pretty much left for 2 years, so he pretty much took the mom role, kind of.
Yeah.
Which just leads to him just developing developing his own puberty syndrome, where the mom forgets about him, so in turn he starts to disappear.
Yeah, and that leads to a lot of like uncomfortable, like things about like how family deals with trauma together. It's not just one person dealing with trauma. It's like the entire family unit of Sakata, Kaide, the mom and the dad having to grapple with this trauma. And I thought it was really, really good.
Oh, okay. So, the later half of the series and the second and third movies are really good with this type of trauma. I don't think it really hit me until the end of the third movie.
The end of the third movie.
The third movie was actually the one that actually kind of hit me the hardest.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to start sobbing at the end of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I think because of the way that I grew up with having my moral compass having like family be a central part of my decisions and not decisions, but having family be a central part of like my social system.
Mm-hmm.
I think putting one back together, having like family drama like that will always get my system going. And it always hurts.
Yeah.
It will always hurt.
Yeah, I will say that ending scene where they're like all together in the hospital room, and they all sort of recognize the ways in which they were traumatized, but in the same way how they sort of all pulled together for each other. That was a really effective scene, and I thought it worked really, really well. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about Bunny Girl Senpai. I think I know it's getting a new season, right? A new
Yeah,
season.
they just confirmed like a month or two ago that they are getting another season of anime just adapting all the other light novels that have come out since Knapsack Kid. It's season 2. Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus will be coming out sometime in 2025.
Uh-huh.
I'm so excited for. That's probably going to be one that me and Steven will be watching every week as the episodes come out.
Right, and we're not even like usual weekly anime watchers, so this is going to be big.
And I did that back in spring, but ended up dropping all the summer 2024 animes I was planning to watch.
Right. So have we said everything we need to say about Bunny Girl Senpai?
Yep, S tier.
S tier, all the movies made me. I will say this: everything past the first movie is what Haruhi should have been. And if you guys want to debate this with me, please email me at offthebalcony21@gmail.com.
So I'll say the entire season is S tier too, and believe me, if you're familiar with either like Clanad or Canon from Studio Key, or if you're familiar with Haruhi Suzumiya, those comparisons are not hyperbolic. They are actually very, very, very accurate.
If you love those series, you will love Rascal Does Not Dream. I even have a My plushie right up there.
Oh, where?
Yeah, right here.
Oh,
That's mine.
I didn't even notice that.
I remember it was one of the cons that we went to a few years ago. I saw that. I think it was like right after I had watched Bunny Girl Senpai myself. So
Oh,
I
okay.
watched that. It was that My plushie and then her in the Bunny Girl outfit. And the guy was really trying to get me to buy the Bunny Girl outfit too, but I think I just had a limited budget there. It's like, no, I'll just get her school uniform version.
There you go. So yeah, I give the entire series. This applies to both show and movies. S tier across the board.
I'm really happy it became S tier because you first said A or B tier, I think.
No. I was like wrestling between high A and low
And
S.
you just had to wait for it to settle.
Yeah, and then I like
Because
I will
once
say,
you realized it lives in your head rent free forever.
yeah, that's
I will say, when you started talking about the Kaide section of the show, I looked at him like, he's gonna put it in S tier, isn't he?
Yeah, I remember when it's like I had watched the show on my own a few years ago before I showed it to Steven, which in turn showed it to Wade.
yeah.
So yeah, I think the Kaide moment was the, like, emotional climax for me too.
Sure, yeah.
I do like that scene where they're on the beach and he finally drops like the wham line. It's like Kaide doesn't have her memories. Like, so me watching it on my own, like, that was like the time where I felt I needed to start crying.
Oh, sure. So yeah, Bunny Girl
I will cry when family and self-reflection is involved. I will not apologize.
Definitely. So Bunny Girl Senpai, great show, great
S-tier,
food.
S tier, good tier, good. Watch it, please.
Yeah,
Do it.
go watch it. Anyway, so
The next show we have on here is one of my movie picks.
which is funny because we used it as a way to like buffer between watching
The first two movies and then the third movie.
Because I know right before we went to Anime Magic, like, we had watched Bunny Girl Senpai, then we had a day to ourselves, and then we went to Magic. So on that day to ourselves, you wanted to watch all 3 movies in one night,
yeah.
which I said, no, the fuck we aren't. But then you decided you still wanted to do it anyway, so I said, okay, fine, but I'll bring a movie that I have with us, just in case we're not able to get through all of that. So, like, after the first 2 movies, you guys were like, nope, I'm done, which I knew you guys would. So, okay,
I didn't say that I was done.
no, I meant Wade and Heather. So, sorry, I'm on 2 vodka Cokes right now. So.
Jesus Christ. I didn't even see you drink the first one. I thought that was the first one.
So I brought the one anime movie I have that hasn't been taken out of its wrapper at the time was Lupin the Third of the First, which was the CG animated Lupin the Third movie. Yeah, that blew us out of the water with how
I
good
loved
Lupin
it.
media
I
is.
loved that movie. That movie was amazing. This is everything that a Lupin the Third film should be. It should be set like in that, because Lupin the
Yeah,
Third.
there's basically anime Indiana Jones where Lupin was doing a Nazi case.
Yeah. Lupin,
Lupin fought the Nazis.
Lupin did fight the Nazis. Admittedly, he was about 20 years too late, but
It's like the emotional, like, the climax of the movie was, psych, you fools, Hitler's been dead for 20 years.
Yeah. So basically,
Because this movie takes place in the 60s.
yeah. There's like a remnant. So basically, the plot is, this like Nazi officer during World War II is like looking for this,
journal written by a guy that was fighting against Hitler.
yeah. And ends up in the hands of a rival archaeologist who actually collaborated with the Nazis during the war, and that archaeologist ends up adopting a girl.
The first guy's grandfather.
Yeah, the first guy's grandfather.
The first girl's grandfather.
Yeah.
The girl's grandfather, excuse me.
Yeah. And she.
Girl's name is Letitia. I remember.
Yeah,
that.
Letitia. And Letitia's grandfather. I'm just gonna.
Letitia.
Letitia.
I think Letitia is how they pronounced it in the dub.
Okay.
So.
Letitia's the Shah is spelled CIA.
Yeah.
So, Letitia's grandfather is, I want to say, an irredeemable piece of shit, by the way. Not just for collaborating with the Nazis, but just for being a dick. Because that's what he is. He's constantly putting his poor granddaughter down. But anyway, so what happens is...
She's not good enough to be an archaeologist.
Yeah, and
You're not good enough to be Indiana Jones.
Yeah, so anyway, Letitia is trying to steal this key to this journal that will reveal the location of this lost city. But the problem is
Lupin gets into it.
yeah, she walks right into the middle of an episode of Lupin the Third, and
Lupin steals the journal and steals the key, but she has one of the other keys. So
yeah,
she has to work with him and the gang to
yeah, and
open the journal.
And what's funny is that opening chase scene was amazing because that's how he ends up getting the. They try to take Lupin to jail, but then Jingen and Goemon roll up in the
Fiat,
in
the yellow Fiat,
in the little Fiat, and Goemon cuts the prison van in half.
Also, I have to say, this movie probably has more Goemon screen time than Goemon has in the actual anime.
Yeah. Goemon was in it quite a bit, and he had probably more lines than I remember him having in previous.
I'm just used to Goemon just showing up like a few minutes and something, just like sawing a helicopter in half with a sword and then fucking off again.
Yeah. Goemon is in the mission the whole way through.
It has one of the best scenes later in it. Like they eventually get to the point where they have to shut down like a Nazi war weapon.
Oh yeah.
In the middle of the Brazil desert.
Oh right.
There's one part where they realize that one of the traps can be shut down with meteorite. And then they realize Goemon's sword was a sword forged out of a meteorite. And Goemon's like, I'm not giving up my sword. You guys can't make me.
And they make him do it anyway, but.
Luckily, he manages to escape before his sword gets destroyed. So
right.
He gets his sword back.
Yep. Which is true. They in Japan there are swords that are made at least partially out of meteorite material.
That was a plot point in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yep, that's right.
Saga still the best sword. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Lupin and Co. Basically get wrapped up in this mission where
it's like the Nazi Eclipse. Eclipse the name of the mission?
Yeah, the Eclipse is the name of the artifact.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this remnant Nazi group. So this isn't set during World War II. This is set
in the 60s, so like 20 or so years after Hitler killed himself.
Yeah. So, and they are and this
They're
group
convinced that Hitler's still alive.
Yeah, which is actually really hilarious because we'll get to why they think that is. But this group is looking for this artifact. Lupin helps Letitia escape. There's like an interlude with them in this prison. They escape from prison. Jingen and Goemon are kind of well, actually, what's funny is
Jingen shoots a fucking shoots bullets off of a highway sign without looking at them.
Yes, that was great. And then they end up, like Hannah was talking about, they end up in the desert. They get away from the Nazis, but they're like thousands of miles away from.
I just remember at one point their helicopter crashes. Like, well, how are we gonna get out of this? And it's like, oh, I know a guy who'll pick me up no matter where I am.
Yeah.
Then tunes in like the helicopter radio wreckage. Oh, hello.
Lupin!
And Gene Gunn just shows up.
No, Zenigata.
Yeah, Zenigata shows up in an Interpol helicopter, kicks down the door, Lupin!
And rushes out with his characteristic army of
Interpol guys.
Interpol guys, and then they just board the helicopter and fly away. Well, Zenigata manages to get back onto the helicopter, but he ends up becoming
Tied up, and it's like a...
Basically just an unwilling participant in their hijinks.
Yeah, and immediately after the Nazis are defeated, Zenigata turns on them, and then
Hey, now I can arrest you guys.
yeah,
Oh,
Wh-
about to head out.
so Zenigata actually has a bigger role in the plot than he appears at first, because he's an Interpol agent. He's actually the guy who's been feeding this remnant Nazi group the fact that Hitler is still alive. It's all fake. It's all a ruse. He's been sending out these photographs.
Just trying to get them to do something that'll actually get them arrested.
So hey, good guy Zenigata has been preventing the rise of the Fourth Reich.
Though I do love how the Adolf Hitler speaking lines are actually a different voice actor.
Oh,
Or it's
right.
I'm just imagining just some guy that hasn't really done a lot of anime yet, just finally realizing, oh, I'm gonna get my big break in a Lupin the Third film. Wait a second, I'm voicing who?
Which, guess what? The main Nazi bad guy and the French archaeologist, Letitia's grandfather, they actually end up meeting Hitler, and you'll never guess who Hitler, quotation marks, actually turns out to be.
Yeah. Lupin just takes off his disguise like, psych, you idiots! Hitler's been dead for 20 years, you idiots!
Yeah, and it's really funny. And so yeah, they managed to. It's very Indiana Jones-ish. Like.
Here's what I'm gonna say about this entire thing. Right? It seems like a trashed Indiana Jones plot got transferred to Lupin the Third. Because I felt like it'd be more animated than real life type shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they tried doing a recent Indiana Jones movie, and it turned out to be a disaster.
Oh god, yeah, that fucking movie.
But doing it with Lupin, where everything's animated, and you don't have to worry about Lupin and co getting old. They were able to pull it off really well. And
Also, fun fact, when I was researching the development of this movie, was that this movie actually was intended to be like both something you could just get into without ever seeing Lupin media before, and also something that would be entertaining for longtime fans. And yeah, I feel like it accomplishes both goals.
considering we're kind of in both camps, we
just got into Lupin this year, but our introduction to it was the first series.
Yeah.
The 1971 series.
And yeah, you could watch Lupin the Third, the first, without having seen anything else, and you'd get every character just pretty much immediately.
Yeah, pretty much just gets like all of the essentials of the characters too.
Yeah, and the thing is, Lupin the Third is he's one of these like ageless characters where you could basically set him in any era and he would just fit.
It's also something Sarah told me a little bit ago after I told her I'd seen Lupin the Third the first. She just mentioned like Lupin the Third's been around for so long that now you can see Goemon trying to figure out how a smartphone works.
And yeah, I mean every one of those characters was set up in that original 1971 show. So, and they have
even
not.
Even in the 1971 show, Goemon doesn't get introduced until like halfway through. It feels
Yeah. I mean, Lupin and Jingen are there from the start. Fujiko's there from the start. Zenigata's there from the start.
Yeah.
Goemon takes a bit to get into the
If
fold.
you guys really want to put this into the modern age, Persona 5. Persona 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of Lupin stuff in
It is basically...
It's like,
It is
well, they
basically
more
this-
reference Arsène Lupin.
The entire reference is the Lupin story. From being the gentleman thief for that entire thing.
Right.
With the calling cards and the Goemon.
Yeah, and the thing is, this is the first Lupin movie that I have seen where they actually reference the original character Arsène Lupin, because Arsène Lupin was originally, he was a French literary character, started in like 1905, I believe. And he was always depicted with
a top hat and a cane.
And in this movie, they brought back the top hat and the cane.
Where they were taking down the Eclipse weapon.
Yeah.
There's a part where like Lupin notices like from one end of the trap, that's my grandpa's hat.
And he finds his cane too, which is kind of a random aside, but it gives us the coolest shot in the movie.
Yeah, it's like when he finally breaks through the trap, he has the hat and the cane and just poses with them.
Yeah, for no other reason than it looks cool. Like, Lupin the Third always goes by the rule of cool, in my opinion. And I'll say why I really like this movie. Like, it's probably, next to Castle of Cagliostro, my favorite Lupin thing that we've watched. The problem with quite a few Lupin films that we've seen in the past is that some of them have, like, really kind of convoluted plots when they don't really need to be that convoluted. Like Farewell to Nostradamus was a pretty, like, I liked it. Like, I thought it was a fun film, but the plot was a bit, like, all over the place. Just as an example.
Yeah, and the Detective Conan ones are kind of a little bit weird, but that was probably just because like, none of us were really familiar with Detective Conan. It's like when they had like that scene like going on with the kids, like, where did all these little kids come from? But then Heather explained to us that they're important characters in the Conan.
Right. And I thought the special was better than the movie, but I saw how both could be, like, kind of confusing. This, Lupin the Third, the first, just went straight back to the basics. We're going to create a super simple villain. I mean, doesn't get much more simple than a Nazi bad guy.
Nazi bad.
Yeah. You have Lupin the Third trying to find some treasure. You have Fujiko, who is like
she's very sexy female thief.
Uh-huh.
Also, like, gets caught every time.
Gets caught every time, but also escapes just as easily.
Yeah.
Jingen is...
And still double crosses Lupin at the very end.
Yeah, and it was funny, at the end of this movie, the way Fujiko leaves the film is on a speedboat that's just loaded with treasure that the Nazis had stolen.
And then Lupin and Jingen and Goemon leave in a boat, but their boat just stalls. Rowing!
They're rowing away as Zenigata comes by, trying to arrest Lupin, but as his boat passes by, Zenigata just salutes.
To Letitia.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, Goemon. Lupin helps Letitia get into college.
Right.
It wasn't also because Zenigata wanted to get Letitia.
Maybe.
Yeah. I remember that little that like minutia plot point.
I mean,
Zenigata's only helped because he found Letitia attractive.
Well,
maybe.
I'm just saying that all of the characters in the movie did their parts not just well, but like really well, like
208.
And we
still have two more series stuff.
Yeah, we're crunching through this pretty well. So Lupin the Third, the first, I gave an S tier too.
Yeah, I'll give that an S tier as well.
Yeah.
S tiers all around.
Yep. All right, let's move on to Steven's pick, which is.
I don't have much to talk about with Fairy Tail, so I'll go pour myself another drink. Do my business.
If you want to give me a drink with like vodka soda, that'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
What character do you want?
You pick.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Steven's pick was, of course, another couple of arcs of Fairy Tail. I'll let Steven set up what those are.
Okay, so one arc is the Battle of Fairy. Not Battle of Fairy Tail. That's a late arc. The Phantom Lord arc, where Phantom Lord was tasked by the head of the Heartfilia household to get Lucy back to his estate because he wants to marry her off to a railroad baron to expand land and railroads for the Heartfilias. And Fairy Tail's like, fuck that no.
Yeah, yeah.
That's essentially it. And they won the fuck that no war. Because Phantom Lord does not exist anymore after this arc.
Right.
Makarov used very long just said, fuck yo shit and get out of my house.
Yeah. And I'll say
and
it.
then the other half of it is Loki, which is like 2 episodes, but we did the 3rd filler episode because it's kind of like in there. I'm not going to kind of skip a filler episode just in case.
Okay. Yeah, I really like both of these arcs. I thought the Phantom Lord arc was a good arc for Lucy to have, because I thought it really sort of solidified Lucy's place amongst the, like, sort of fairy tale, it's a guild, right?
Guild, yes.
Yeah, the fairy tale guild, like, really accepting her, because they're putting it all on the line so she doesn't get captured by her weird fucking father.
As a guy who's seen the entire Fairy Tail series before showing it to these two, I can't exactly comment on that, but I'll let your thoughts go.
Well, I was just saying that I thought, I thought the arc was great. The action in it was great. There's like a real sort of like we have to like sneak into the castle and like stop and
It's not exactly sneaking into the castle if the castle comes to you, is it?
Yeah, well, yeah. I actually wrote down a bunch of notes about the like I really liked some of the villains that they brought up, in like the weird French guy who kind of
Soul.
Yeah, who pops out of the floor and is like,
oh god, Soul was actually a fucking when I first watched the series, I actually did like Soul a lot because the style of his earth magic was actually interesting.
yeah.
I thought it was a very unique take on earth magic.
Yeah.
Other than like every other show would just be like pillars or walls like Naruto does.
Oh, speaking of villains, I'm probably going to be walking into old ground here with some of you guys who've been watching Fairy Tail for a while, but Juvia.
Juvia as a villain was very okay.
No, I'm saying that Juvia is quite strange, to say the least.
Those who have watched the entirety of Fairy Tail will know that's a lulz. Those who haven't, like Wade, you get to enjoy the show.
No, I'm interested to see what they do with Juvia. I didn't hate the character, certainly not. I thought she was very entertaining, especially after the Phantom Lord arc, like when we move more into the Loki stuff, because she is just pining after Gray like a lot and saying just out of pocket just wild shit about what, like, she says, I want to have 37 of your babies. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, you talking about Juvia?
Yes.
Yeah, Juvia.
Oh yeah.
Juvia is wild.
Yeah.
I started going to cons in 2014, so I kind of know a little bit about some I at least know the character designs of like the main female Fairy Tail characters. But what I need to say is that back in my early days of going to cons, I saw like at least 50 Juvia cosplayers.
Oh, wow.
Like I thought she was like one of the main characters from the very get-go. Then first she started as like a minor villain. Like, so like people are getting this obsessed with a minor villain, which I can't really speak because before I bought like 50 Love Live cosplays, my 2 most popular cosplays were 2 minor JoJo villains from Part 5. So
I'll say this.
I've been in that camp before.
I'll say this as a person who's seen all of Fairy Tail. Juvia becomes a very respected member of the guild.
Okay.
I will let you guys go on that journey with me, or as I show you this. However, this is coming up to October, so I'm going to show a very different show for the week.
Can't wait.
Speaking of JoJo, for October, for Spooky Month, I am going to show JoJo Part 1.
Which I've seen JoJo Part 1, but feel free to do so again.
I have not seen an episode of JoJo because I never knew which one JoJo started. But
Part 1 is vampire hunting, so
we're gonna put a curtain on the JoJo shit. But for Fairy Tail, Juvia is Juvia's a very respected character, even though right now she's just being wild as fuck.
Very horny girl.
Yes.
well 37 of your babies. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like Shaq on the Hot Ones.
yeah. No. That was Idris Elba. But yeah, they managed to save Lucy, and Lucy has a really great scene with her father where she basically tells him off, and just decides to leave her home forever. And then Natsu and Happy find out how loaded she is. It's like,
Not too
oh,
Happy, Gray, and Urza.
Yeah.
Holy shit, the reaction.
Yeah, that
God.
was funny. Oh yeah, Urza and Gray were there too. So moving on to the Loki arc.
I do want to pause and say, from you two for being new to Fairy Tail, how do you feel from Urza's introduction to Urza as part of the team?
I like Urza as part of the team. I mean, when we first meet her, she's kind of like, you ever watch those old cop movies and there's always the like angry, like cigar chomping, usually African American cop boss that's always just mad and pissed off all the time.
Yeah.
That's what Urza reminded me of at the beginning. But now that Urza's part of the team, I feel like I'm getting to. I feel like I get Urza more, and I think she's like way less one note than she was, say, in like the Galuna Island.
The Galuna Island and Clover shit.
Yeah. She's way more fleshed out now, so I do like that she's part of the team. Does she remain part of the team?
Okay. So the very next arc is Urza's backstory.
Oh boy. Well, they did great with the man. The past couple of arcs have been backstory arcs, like the Gray. Gray's backstory with
Galuna Island Gray is a spectacle to behold, and that Gray is my most favorite character of the entire series. You guys will experience that with me as I show you Fairy Tail.
Right.
But as far as we got now, yes, Urza is getting fleshed out. This is very, very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like Urza as she's coming into her own as a more of a member of this team. I will say
Urza's peak girl boss.
Urza had some of my favorite scenes in this round of episodes that Steven showed us. Not from the Phantom Lord arc, but from the arc that came after, because as part of this mission, Natsu, Lucy, Gray, Urza, and Happy all have to participate in this play. And Urza...
You're skipping this whole episode? It was going to be the worst decision I've made in my life, and I'm thankful you brought it up.
So Urza has to play like the hero of the play, and she's trying to sing, and it's like she's doing me me my mo.
For those inquiring, if you guys know the Do Re Mi warm up, you guys have to do.
Yeah, and the Japanese version of that is just saying the Japanese alphabet, like A I U A O.
Yeah.
Kaki ku ke ko.
Yeah, she's doing that, and it's just the play turns out to be a complete disaster. Like, even Natsu trying to put on the pyrotechnics just completely fall.
Burns down the stage.
Yeah. But I forget how that play episode factored into the larger Loki arc.
Oh, it is unironically just to introduce the fucking play guy.
That's it?
I told you it was a filler episode.
Fair enough. But
but the Fairy Tail filler arcs, I will say, differ from
you played us into watching filler.
Yes, I did. But I will say the Fairy Tail filler episodes, like the one-off episodes, are very good into introducing some of the characters earlier on than you normally would get them in the manga.
That's fair.
So that's why I kind of like playing them. If there's like a filler arc, there's only one I'm gonna play for you. But as a filler episode, I'm gonna play this.
So with Loki, I actually like that arc a little bit more than I like the Phantom Lord arc, because it was a very effective way in how they wrote that character. Like, I really they managed to do it was only 2-3 episodes, right? With Loki.
2 episodes.
In 2 episodes, they were able to set this character up initially as kind of, because the character had been kind of in the background before, right?
Yep.
Like, kind of as just a minor presence, but then they brought him to the forefront and they showed, what, sort of makes him tick, and they showed that he, is he's like a, how do you describe him? Like a magical.
Okay, we kind of do have to spoil it to actually make sense of his character, which I do kind of hate to do. But first off, spoiler warning. Loki is the lion part of the fuck, I can't remember.
Loki is short for Leo.
Yeah, Loki is Leo, the lion
Zodiac.
Yes. Zodiac. I can't remember
I think
which
that's like
fucking,
August birthdays.
I can't remember which fucking part of space
Sorry.
space racism we're doing, so I can't,
I know the order of the Zodiac because I was a Homestuck kid when I was 13.
Again, I can't remember the
Nice.
space racism order. I'm not into astrology, so
Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Gamzee's Capricorn, then Eridan and Viperi's Pisces.
okay, cool.
So with good job, you recited them.
So I started saying the Homestuck trolls' names at the end, but
Oh.
It's fine. People who know. People who
wait,
don't.
I forgot about Terezi. Terezi's Libra, which is late August, September.
So
or September, October, I don't know.
So with Loki, oh shit, knock my little thing down. So with Loki, what I really liked was his backstory, because like he essentially deprives his master of the ability to like defend herself and ends up getting killed. Not that I cared, because it's like this.
Her name's literally Karen.
Yeah, which God, that's on the nose. But he carries the guilt of causing her death like with him, and tries to basically, I guess, like offer himself up to some kind of.
Oh, he got kicked out of the celestial space because he caused her to die.
Yeah.
We were getting into spoiler territory, but I really don't give a shit anymore. So he carries the guilt because he thinks he's the one who caused her to die, and not because Karen decided to be a fucking dumb bitch and go on a job without her most powerful spirits when she wasn't strong enough to summon the spirits and a lower spirit at the same time.
Right. So basically, Lucy convinces, or pretty much prevents Loki from disappearing, and actually
convinces the king of the celestial world to let him back in.
Yeah, and he does, but then Loki, doesn't he end up joining their crew?
Yes, he does. Excuse me. He does end up joining as part of Lucy's celestial keys. Zodiac keys, but because he has been out of the celestial world so long, he needs a long bit of rest.
Yeah. So is he going to be a more crucial character later on?
After I show you guys the Tower of Heaven arc, which is Urza's backstory, I'll show you the Battle of Fairy Tale, which is the arc where Loki actually starts to shine a little bit.
Okay, cool. Can't wait.
Here's what I'm gonna say about the two arcs that we showed. Right, Phantom Lord, that arc was really about this was like the classic shonen arc. Right?
Yeah.
It was like we needed a fight to protect our shit and do new moves and new other bullshit things, pull out of our ass because we're doing shonen and all that stuff. Like, I know it's shonen, right?
Yeah.
Some people like shonen, like MHA, JJK. People like shonen. I want you guys to watch OG Fairy Tale to know how shonen's done right, because JJK is done because the mangaka was really influenced by Gamai Ga Kill, and I want to set you guys straight. Let's be honest here.
There are better animes out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then MHA is MHA, which they can't continue a plot to save their goddamn life. But come at me, I don't care. But the OG Fairy Tale, how they do that with Phantom Lord, was a very good arc. They contained an entire I'm trying to figure out which arc I can convince which would be MHA. Actually, I think it would be the Invasion arc, where they have the guys invade the training section where All Might went fucking all out on it, right? I'd say that was a better art. Fairy Tail did it better just because it wasn't just one person trying to save everyone, but it was like each individual part actually played a role. And that's what you really want from a shonen, because if you have like a team, like a guild, you want everyone to take part, not have like people say, I want to be this part of the sideline, I want to be this part of the sideline when I watch All Might fucking kick ass and take name. We want everyone to be part of it. And
Sure.
that's what Phantom Lord did, which is why I view Fairy Tail, the character roster, as Fairy Tail Guild being the main character and every other guild being side characters.
Mm-hmm. So,
But getting back around to it with the Loki arc, Loki is definitely probably one of the better illustrated arcs and definitely one of the best written one. Even though A1 tends to rush their shit, because what did A1 do most famously? Was it Evangelion?
A1.
Didn't they do the co-collab with Darling in the Franxx with
They
another
did,
studio?
but we're gonna ignore that mistake with Trigger. What was A1 most famous for?
I would say, well, man, A1 has done a lot, so.
But with the way they want A1 writes, even with their, like, I know Fairy Tail eventually drops A1 because A1's taking a lot of liberty with their bullshit, but writing this Loki arc was probably one of their best sources of writing for Fairy Tail,
Mm-hmm.
and doing those 2 episodes is probably pretty fucking good, because, you know, Loki's like, I just want to distance myself from every girl that I've romanticized, and then die by myself. And Lucy's like, fuck no, we're not doing that shit. So I would like to say that Loki was a definite shining part of the arc, but the Fairy Tail, the Battle of Fairy Tail, no, fuck you. Phantom Lord, I'm sorry, I'm getting 2 arcs mixed up. Phantom Lord was definitely like the classic shonen, we're gonna show you every bit of moves and every bit of war shit for Fairy Tail. But for that overarching arc, for that arc, I would give it like a B tier, B or A tier.
I gave both arcs A tier, like as just one collective.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Fairy Tail is still a winner in my book.
Yeah, those arcs were pretty good.
All right, next.
And last show of the night, Rising Impact.
Which was my pick.
Yeah, because I kept telling you there was one more golf anime we needed to watch, but it's like I didn't want to use another one of my picks onto that, but I know we had approved the golf anime panel for,
Yeah.
at least had submitted that for Magic.
Yeah, so we wanted.
Anime Magic Inked, so.
So yeah, we wanted to be on top of all of our golf anime
As
show.
far as I know, that's the only other golf anime that's gonna be out until 2025.
Yeah, and I feel like there are going to be a lot more coming up because it seems like.
I know Sarayo Utility is gonna get a full-length anime in 2025.
Yep, that's going to be the next one, and I can't wait for that one. But let's.
Hopefully Rising Impact gets a season 3 too, because there is more story to cover.
There's a lot more story to cover, especially considering how short of a manga that actually was.
Yeah. And the last season ended on the season we watched today ended up on a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
so
and there were.
we need more.
Yeah. So, to sum up the story of Rising Impact, basically it's the story of this little boy named
Like an 8-year-old boy named Gawain.
Gawain. Yeah, that's actually his name. We will get into why he's called that later. But
There's a lot of King Arthur,
yeah.
like Knights of the Round Table lore
So
in the story.
So this female golfer finds him just by accident, like traipsing through the woods, and she finds out that he's actually really strong and can hit a golf ball like very well.
Yeah.
So
He originally wants to be a baseball star, but once he hits a golf ball, he's like, "Oh, I can hit a golf ball a lot farther than a baseball. I want to do golf forever now."
yeah, it's basically that.
His life goal was to hit a ball as far as farther than anybody else can. So he starts with a baseball and then decides, I want to do golf now. The golf ball can go really far.
Yeah, and so basically it's the line from
Wasn't it after like the Masato coated MILF showed him how far golf ball could go?
Yeah.
basically it's the Happy Gilmore line of, so you a baseball player, huh? You gonna give that shit up? Gonna concentrate on golf, which is basically all of these shows. But in any case, so Gawain moves away from home. He goes and lives with his grandfather, or
He was living with his grandfather, but then eventually, after he does his first competition, he gets scouted by a guy named Merlin to go to Camelot Academy.
Yes, that's the King Arthur references are everywhere. So he leaves his adopted
Grandpa.
well, he leaves the female golfer.
Oh yeah.
He leaves the female golfer to go to this elite golf school.
It's a high school where most of the curriculum is focused on golf.
Right, which is, just roll with it. It's one of those anime things, but
Pretty much the whole season is some kid that's a lot older than him just going like, there's no way you can beat me, you little pipsqueak. And then Gawain hitting a driver shot like 300 yards, and then everyone just respects him.
yeah, it's like,
You are my little brother now.
yeah, and it's like, and the thing is, Gawain is such a happy-go-lucky character that it's kind of like you spend enough time around him, your personality will change, whether you're conscious of it or not.
Yeah, you are gonna protect him at all costs.
Yeah, and that happens to even some of the hardest characters, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But when he gets to... Because most of the anime is set at Camelot Academy, or set around, like, the students of Camelot Academy. And so he starts off, because it's weird, right? Like, why is there this 8-year-old boy who is better at us in certain aspects of golf? Like, he's not, like, an immediate prodigy, which I thought was a smart choice of this show, but he can hit the drive really well.
Yeah, it's kind of like Oitonbo, where like he learns more about certain parts of golf as the series goes on. Or like an episode or two in, he meets this kid named Lancelot.
Yeah.
Like another high schooler where his special ability is putting.
Yeah, he has...
Like, Gawain just dismisses putting at first until he realizes that putting's an important part of the actual game of golf.
it's kind of funny how he gets introduced to golf, because first he just gets introduced to the driving part, and then he learns like how you actually do a hole of golf,
like,
and
you can't just hit driver shots the whole game. You have to actually play the game and not just hit the ball far.
Yeah, and he, but I like that, because I think a lot of these golf anime kind of have an almost educational quality to them. Not that they're like straight up instructional, but they do give you like bits of information about what to expect while you're golfing. Yeah. And maybe I'm just attuned to that because, I'm playing golf again, that it's like I kind of notice these.
And I've been learning golf this year.
Yeah, and Steven, of course, has been playing golf with us. And so you sort of start to pick up on those details. But yeah, Gawain, and I'll say this, I really like Gawain. Like, I think that Lancelot ended up being my favorite character of the show.
Yeah, Lancelot really grows on you after.
Yeah.
Like after he really has his time in the sun.
Yeah, he starts off
like,
as
especially season 2 is when he really gets to shine.
Yeah, and he starts off as a very kind of cold, like almost like bitchy kind of character, but
after he spends some time with Gawain, then
he starts to open up and be more open and caring in his own way. But
that is something about Rising Impact. Like, they introduce like a new character. That character just starts off as a major bitch, and then just once you finally get their backstory, and then they start hanging out with Gawain a bit, it's like, okay, now I love them.
And that happens to every character, but there was one character who it did not click with me, and that was...
That one bitch boy?
No, not him. Bridget.
Yeah.
Quester's girlfriend.
Yeah, that is something I feel like a lot like the American team's women, they just did not shut the fuck up.
That's true. And Bridget...
I mean, that's probably just Japan's stereotype of American women.
I was thinking the exact same thing while we were watching the show. I'm like, someone over here has a
grudge against American women, because all the American team's women are the most annoying people to have ever lived.
Meanwhile, the American team's men ended up being some of my favorite characters in the show, like Bilford and Quester.
Yeah,
Those
they
guys
ended
were
up being really cool.
Yeah, they were great.
It's like even Charles ended up being okay.
Yeah, Charles was a decent guy by the end of it.
Yeah,
But
it's like after he got paired up with Gawain.
and here's the thing with Bridget, I'm not going to spend that much time on Bridget because she's such a minor character, but Bridget has probably one of the darker backstories in Rising Impact. Like, it's more
Yeah.
visually communicated. You saw, like...
That where she gets a beer bottle thrown at her and then runs away.
Yeah, and you see her wrists. It's pretty dark, but it's like none of that really blunts how annoying she is. And like how much of a, for lack of a better term, how much dick riding she does with Quester. Take that as you will. But even Quester seems kind of sick
Yeah,
of her.
it's like there's like a lot of times where Quester just tells her like, "Hey Bridget, stop talking."
Yeah, just and Bridget just does not stop fawning over Quester, and it's not like you don't understand why. I just wish I wish we had gotten. I wish Bridget had gotten a better treatment as a character, because it's like there's interesting stuff that you could have done with Bridget. It just never materializes. It's like, okay, you could have done something interesting with this character, but they just don't. And I thought that was kind of a missed opportunity. But anyway, so Gawain climbs the ranks at this elite golf school, starts making friends, starts securing allies.
And then at the end of season 1, it's around the time that the 3 Camelot schools, like the one in Japan, the one in America, and the one in Britain, do the Camelot Cup.
So,
it's like their big school competition.
So me and Steven discussed this. Ain't no fucking way the British school is better at golf
fuck that.
than the American. The American school would dominate that.
When is the last time the British won the Masters?
Wasn't it like 60s?
No, it was more like the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s.
Here. How about you give some of your thoughts on
All right.
Rising?
So even though golf was invented by the Scots because they were drunk and had nothing else to do, kind of like me in this podcast, they made the sport, and then when it got exported out to the other English-speaking countries, America was like, "How about we be better than you than everything else?" So we made a course in Augusta and told them to beat our shit there, and they didn't. So
the Masters tournament was started in 1934. It took 31 years for the first foreign-born man to win it. And it wasn't an English person. It was a guy from South Africa named Gary Player, one of the greatest golf.
A guy named Player.
No, that was his actual name. I'm looking, and actually, this is where it was 1961. I'm sorry, but this is where Player is. 1961. He's surrounded on all sides by American flags because. We just
American flag. Ooh, South African flag. America.
Not even England can win that shit.
So the first
what the fuck are you doing in that United Kingdom?
We'll call it the first United Kingdom winner of the Masters was Sandy Lyle in 1988. He was from Scotland.
Of course.
So anyway,
Scotland.
this
He's drinking as much as he's on the course.
The point of this digression is to say this was the hardest thing for me to buy in a show where an 8-year-old is able to play professional golf.
Yep.
Is that
and also, like, we got introduced to the British team in season 2. None of them had Scottish accents.
Oh right, Steven said he was gonna riot.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. let me write. Y'all didn't put Scots on the team when they won everything, when they're the inventors of golf?
Or Welsh.
No Scotch. We got fucking Liam from Oasis on the goddamn team before we had a Scot.
The main villain of season 2, when they finally did the...
Was a motherfucker named Tristan.
Yeah, a guy named Tristan who looks like a twink version of Peter Steele, where his whole thing was that he got bullied from his old golf team, and then his dad died. So
I mean, I know,
now he has golf trauma.
Yeah.
I know he's voiced by David Mills, and how the opinions of
How
David Mills do you
awful a
want?
person Damon Mills probably may or may not be.
You'll have to talk to me about that.
We'll talk to that after the show. But you may have a boy based voiced fuck me by David Mills. But goddamn, you can't make him even more of a villain?
Well, yeah, he's pretty unlikable throughout most of the show. But I will say that my favorite part of Rising Impact was that final golf tournament. Like, one thing I've noticed about these golf shows is that they actually really, like, even as someone who likes golf, like, I still found, like, its portrayal of golf to be very good. In fact, the way anime will, like, sort of hyperbolize things and, like, make things be really exaggerated and extreme, actually works with a sport like golf, where it kind of is able to slow down and do, like, the Rising Impact is kind of like a superpower that golfers have in this universe, and it's able to, like, slow down and show, like, you know, my power is connecting with the power of the golf ball, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And I think it works really well in that sort of context. But yeah, I found the final tournament to be, like, the best part, and it also leads to probably one of the funniest, like, superpower moments where Gawain gets hit on the head by a golf ball,
And then becomes a psychopath.
It's
Like, pretty much loses all of his emotion and just becomes pure calculated golf.
and just is a killer on the golf course.
And then once he gets to hole 18, and like the last 2 episodes of the series, he eventually just passes out and pretty much has to forfeit the tournament.
Yeah, which was
and then becomes himself again.
yeah, which was a really sad moment, because it was like, man,
He was so close.
he was so close and had to vacate his spot to Tristan, and Tristan ended up winning the tournament.
Because spending time around Gawain helped him figure out his purpose in life. So Tristan wanted to give the grand prize back to Gawain, but Gawain said, like, no, you earned it.
Yeah, because he did win by, you know, it was technically like a technicality, and, like, Gawain could have easily.
It's like Gawain would have got second place.
Yeah. So he was very magnanimous, but
And also, fun fact about Rising Impact, if you guys decide to watch the English dub, that Gawain, the main boy, is voiced by Debbie Derryberry, who is most known for voicing Jimmy Neutron.
and you
And
will
you can tell.
and you will hear it in the voice of Gawain. It's not that Debbie Derryberry is.
She's putting on the Jimmy Neutron voice.
It's just
that you can tell it's Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, and Steven, I think, said it best in that it's not bad, but it's there. So you gotta get over that hump of, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Debbie puts on an amazing performance, but you're gonna have to deal with the fact that Jimmy Neutron is a golfer now.
He's a little boy golfer.
Yeah, and
Jimmy Neutron is kind of a little boy, but he's probably like it's been like at least 10 years since I've seen Jimmy Neutron, but I think Jimmy Neutron's like a 5th grader maybe.
so one of my favorite moments from that final tournament is the fact that Wang Li, who's one of the
Wang Lian.
Wang Lian is one of the Japanese golfers.
It's once they reach the back 9, like when they're like the pause in the game.
Yeah.
They all finish the front 9 and they tally up their scores. Like, Tristan's in 1st place. Who's in 2nd place? Wang Lian's 7 behind par.
Yeah, it's not.
What?
Yeah, it's
And,
not.
like, we've never heard about Wang Lian since like season 1. Then just realized, like, wait, what did he do to get in 2nd place?
And
They never explained.
not just 2nd place. He's like 4 strokes below the nearest, like.
Yeah, he's like 4 strokes behind Tristan, who's in 1st place.
Yeah, and it's.
Like, that's the power of getting uninvolved in the drama, because, like, literally the only scene that Wang Lian really shone in before this was where he helped Gawain Wayne get out of a locked room by basically doing kung fu to break the door
Yeah.
open.
and just turns out to be one of the best golfers at the school, which is funny because the guy who claims to be the best golfer at the school, he
Got
spent
in, like 5th place.
yeah, which is still respectable considering the competition. But yeah, I think I've expended all of my funny details about Rising Impact. In terms of quality, yeah, I mean, it's another winner in like the golf anime canon, which now exists. Which is funny because it's like 3 years ago, this genre just did not exist, and now golf anime is basically everywhere now.
Yeah. Which, funny enough, I went on Surugaya earlier today. It's like, oh, there are at least 4 golf animes that are out now. I wonder if there's any golf, like, playing merch, like golf balls, gloves, or something that could actually help with your golf game that's related to these animes. So I searched up all of the golf animes. Nothing. But when I searched up Rising Impact, it's all doujins.
Yeah, people are writing doujins about
Yeah,
golf anime.
Which, funny enough, Rising Impact, it just got an anime this year, but the manga ran from 1998 to 2002, so this is a really old series that just got a modern day adaptation just
And it's-
lately. But yeah, the doujins are all like Kuromine / Toei, whatever the captain's name is.
Right.
The Japanese team.
And let me. This is the same.
And then there's Gawain and Percival.
Okay, sure.
A lot.
Here, let Steven.
Okay, this is where I get the nerd out. So the next anime, one of the next anime I'm planning to show at the Fairy Tale is fucking Seven Deadly Sins, and this is the same studio that did the art for both of them, and they made a reference.
Yeah,
They
because
made a reference to that.
Tristan's dad's gravestone said his name was Melodious.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so Tristan is the main
Main villain of
the
season
BB,
2.
the BBEG. If you guys have played D&D, that means the big bad
Evil, bad.
the big bad evil bad guy. And his name is Meliodas Leonis. Now, Meliodas is the name of the main character in Seven Deadly Sins. And Leonis is the name of the country he defends, or the last name of the princess he marries, but she takes her name because why the fuck wouldn't you take the crown's name when you're marrying the crown? So that's where you get it, and so that's the dad's name. I would like to imagine, if it wasn't intentional, I would like to imagine that it was an homage to Seven Deadly Sins, because this came out in 2024 and Seven Deadly Sins kind of wrapped up in the last couple of years.
Right.
But if
I
it
remember
wasn't,
when it came out.
if it wasn't, that's kind of ironic. But I'm more likely thinking that it was. So it made the Seven Deadly Sins guy and me happy.
Well, there you go. So I have a question for you two guys before we give our rating on Rising Impact. Now that we have viewed all 4 of the available golf anime, do you have a favorite?
I would like to say that Sarayu Utility is my favorite one, just because it's the most realistic.
Same. I loved it for its very accurate representation of what it's like to be a normal golfer.
Yeah. I'd say Sarayo Utility is my favorite. Then followed by Tonbo. Which
Yep.
I'm so excited for season 2 coming out in October.
Yep, we're getting more Tonbo, and then
I am probably gonna watch that one every week as it comes out.
which you did with the first.
originals.
Yeah.
Season 1. Then probably Rising Impact and Birdie Wing are probably tied for 3rd, 4th place.
Yeah, I still like Birdie Wing. It's just it's very clear that this was the first of these because
Yeah.
it
I do kind of wish it focused more on the golf, but the Yuri was pretty good. Again, I am a Yuri more than a Yaoi person, so
Based.
yeah.
I'm more of a golf person, so I wanted to see more golfing.
Yeah, I mean, same too, but yeah.
I feel like a dad. I want to see the Golf Channel. But But yeah, I would actually agree with that ranking of the different golf anime. I'm just
I do hope we get a Rising Impact season 3 though, because season 2 just ended up on a cliffhanger where
big cliffhanger, a lot of like
the guy
dangling plot threads.
the guy that may or may not be Gawain's dad, and then like 3 members of like a member of each team just staying behind with him. Like, what is Wang Lian doing with him?
Yeah, even if it was a 2-hour like finale film or something, I would take that. But I would love a second season, and I'd be hard pressed if they wouldn't do one. But with what we have right now, I'd give Rising Impact an A tier.
Same.
A tier, yes. That's a very agreeable place.
When we watched season 1, it was like a low B, low A tier, high B tier for me, but season 2 definitely brought it up to an A tier.
Definitely.
Yes.
I'd agree. Season 2 was better than season 1.
Yeah. Like the competition arc definitely gave
Oh,
Wayne
yeah.
and all the other characters a lot more time to shine.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So
Alright,
I think we're out of stuff
Alright,
to
so
say.
as we're at 2 minutes and probably like 49 seconds.
2 hours.
Yeah, we're
2
coming,
hours, 59 minutes.
We're coming nearly to 2 hours and 50 minutes because I'm cutting the first minute out because that was our warm up.
Yeah.
But because we're at this far, I would like to say thank you to both the hosts for coming over and do this. I mean, I live with one of them, so
Yeah. What do you mean thanking me? I live here.
I'm thanking you because you're here.
Aw.
But other than that, we have some other things. I'll go ahead with our for sure things. We have our GoFundMe in the description if you guys would like to donate to help me out make the Imperial a thing, because I would like to make that car our supreme con vehicle that both me and Wade can drive. Because one, I want to drive a 50s car, and I'm pretty sure Wade would like to drive a 50s car.
Oh, yeah.
So I would like to do that for both of us. Especially if we keep getting invited to cons like NebraskaCon and keep going further west and north or east or south, whichever way. I would like to be able to have a car that could actually have AC. I'm sorry, Volkswagen. And have AC and have everything else be solid on it. I'd like to have that. So in the description, you guys will see American Imperialism. I was only able to change it twice, and I kind of wanted to change it from the from Martin Luther King down note to this, so I'm sorry. But I will change the title to OTB car con car, so that way you guys can donate it and not feel like you guys are guilty. But I would like to do that. Second thing is that if you guys have any topics you would like to email us about talking about or anime you guys want us to see, please email us at offthebalcony21@gmail.com, and either Wade, Hannah, or I will respond to that by saying we could add that to our list. I want to make sure we have a response to make sure you guys are confident in knowing that we will add that to our list to add, other than ourselves. Also, I'm currently planning with our artists, to do merch. Like stickers, shirts, sweatshirts, etc. And we are.
Those will fund our channel.
Those will fund our channel, yes. And but I would love to have some merch for this channel, just so we're like every other podcast channel, and B, so that way we can earn some passive income from this, and I can take it off of my taxes.
Nice.
But honestly, on top of that, I would also like you guys to have stickers, and maybe some, probably stickers and bumper stickers first off, and maybe some cups and hats. I'm not sure. Thirdly, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry. Never mind the thirdly. I'm sorry. But yeah, merch from us. I'm currently with artists and how we're going to do that. Business details I'll discuss behind the scenes. But as of right now, I'd like to do some merch for our channel. That way you guys can see us more. And I would like to actually evolve that into a fund where each of us can draw from that to fund our con goings. So that way we don't have to spend money.
For our hotel rooms and stuff.
Correct.
I want to say, Steven's going to hate me for this, but we're going to be selling merch, and it's going to be selling like a god church.
I don't hate you for that. But
we will become our own cult.
Oh god. But as we're coming up, I would more you guys donate going to be our main mode of transportation. I hope in the future. But if you guys want to donate to us, just being con stuff, I will let you guys know in the next episode we record that we will have merch up, or I will post it in a community note on our channel. So please pay attention to that. Other than that, how do you guys feel? Do you guys want to call it?
I had a great time recording the podcast. I look forward to delivering news of our adventures in NebraskaCon and Anime Magic Inked to you. We'll probably do the next podcast in early November once we get done with Inked.
Yes.
So
after we have a few more shows under our belt.
yeah. So look forward to.
Yes, that's gonna be the other thing I say. This podcast is gonna slow down from monthly uploads to probably every other month uploads because
I mean, in fact, we have been every other month uploads.
That's been monthly uploads, but that's the way I'm doing it. Oh, also, Golf Balcony. I want to say something about this. It will take an entire day for me to upload an episode of that.
That's why we only have one from our 2023 season up.
Yes, I will work on getting 2023 up, edited and up. I will do that when I have the time. However, school is taken away from that time. And filming from the last season has taken away from me doing the other season. It's kind of a combined thing. But expect 2023 and 2024 to be up soon. Maybe the next time we go mini golfing, I'll be able to upload that immediately. But other than that, I want to thank you guys for listening to us for nearly 3 hours. Do you guys have anything else you want to say?
Thanks for joining us tonight, folks. It's been fun. Look forward to talking to you again right around probably turkey time.
Yes, I have nothing else to add, so bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
Let everyone stay frosty and have a very good day today. Goodbye.